Ready for adventure? 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, $25,595 or $299 a month. Plus 7 seating and top safety pick 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander SUV, $32,185 or $399 a month. And every new Gossett Mitsubishi is equipped with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You want it, we Gossett. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or 24/7 at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett and Gossett Motor Cars.
All 84 months, 500 military rebate, loyalty, conquest rebate, 500 G4, RHFO 1918, MSRP 19255, Sport, PU 015-137, MSRP 26595, Outlander RZ 006545, MSRP 33185, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit, dealer stock only.
After a big dinner, my nighttime heartburn would keep me up. I'd be taking antacid after antacid all night long. But then I tried Prilosec OTC. Just 1 pill a day blocks my frequent heartburn for a full 24 hours, giving me one-and-done heartburn relief. Without heartburn keeping me up, I could have a restful night's sleep.
Prilosec OTC. 1 pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelge and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop, here on Sports 56, real sports talk.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
It's time to get up and get your day started.
Morant. Oh! A jawbreaker!
It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
Well, it was a rough night down at FedEx Forum, but we're back. We're up. The sun will rise. And it's only one of 82, so not too much to be concerned about. Welcome into Sports 56 Mornings on this Thursday, October the 26th, 2023. Eli Savoy here. No Greg Gaston today. Zach Boyd is here as well, as we are live in the Family Leisure Studios. At Family Leisure, that is where family and fun come together. 2120 Whitten Road. Go by, check out their great overstock sale they've got going on right now. They need to clean out some inventory, so they are giving you great deals. Select patio sets up to 50% off. Play gyms under $2,000. Extended sale pricing on in-stock hot tubs and swim spas. And I've got one of those hot tubs from Family Leisure, and I can tell you it's this time of year, it is very, very enjoyable. It's enjoyable every time of year, but boy, when the weather starts getting a little chilly at night, absolutely fantastic. Winter pool closing items up to 30% off. You can find it all at Family Leisure. Again, 2120 Whitten Road. And they bring you our studios and have been doing that for many, many years, and we certainly appreciate them. Speaking of the weather, looks like today's going to be a pretty nice day once again, with highs in the low 80s for this afternoon. About 83, it looks like. Some sun, some clouds. Tonight, there is a chance of some rain. We haven't had much rain, hardly any rain really at all, but there is a chance of some rain coming in later this evening, so we'll see if that actually does come to fruition or not. But it has been a long time since we've had a real amount of rain, and we could certainly use it, but it's not a real great chance, but there is a chance of some overnight rain tonight. But today, we'll see a lot of sunshine, some clouds, and temperatures in the 80s. Coming up on today's program, of course, it's Thursday. That means we'll talk some Major League Baseball with Kerry Miller as the World Series gets underway tomorrow night, as the Texas Rangers and the Arizona Diamondbacks, one that I don't believe anybody predicted in the preseason, but that will be the matchup. The Rangers and the Diamondbacks get things underway tomorrow night down in Arlington. Of course, Ryan Silverfield joins us as he does each and every Thursday. We'll talk with Coach Silverfield to preview the Tigers matchup down in Denton, Texas this week as they will battle the Mean Green of North Texas, a team they played last year here in Memphis. That was a non-conference game. This year, they will play it as a conference game with North Texas coming into the American Athletic Conference. We'll talk with Ryan Silverfield at about 8:05. Following that, it'll be the Tiger Football Report. We'll take a look at this matchup between the Tigers and the Mean Green. And then on our final hour today, Harold Grader will be in studio for the the Autos of Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. We'll have our Pick Six. We'll talk a lot of college football. Of course, yesterday it became official. In case you missed it, we talked about it early yesterday morning when the news broke, and then the official announcement came yesterday afternoon, and Mike Oresco was speaking about it. But Army has officially joined the American Athletic Conference, and they did make it official, which everybody knew. The Army-Navy game will still be played the same week, which is the week after the championship games. It will not be a conference game. They will play that as a non-conference game every year. And under the long shot, but the possibility that Army and Navy finished 1-2, they would play the American Athletic Conference championship game 1 week, and then the next week they'd play each other again, which would be very strange. But again, Army-Navy probably not going to be the matchup in the American Athletic Conference championship game. But we've got plenty of college football to talk to Harold Grader about coming up in our final hour. And again, we'll do our Pick Six, giving somebody out there an opportunity to win $25 in piggy bucks from Central Barbecue. If you want to join the program, you're always welcome to do so. 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255. That is the phone number. You can text anytime. You can also call in during open segments. We don't have much of that time today, but in this first segment, if you do want to get a call in about the Grizzlies last night, we will give you that opportunity to do so, as we will talk a lot about the Grizzlies season opener. A very busy schedule last night around the NBA. There was some college football being played. There's NFL news as well to get into as we get things underway. Zach Boyd, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good so far.
It was a rough night last night. It was a doozy.
Hey, yes, it was. It was. I kind of figured that. It's like we lost Steven Adams, or not Steven Adams, but Santi for this game. I was like, well, say, all right, let me just buckle myself in because it might be a long night offensively for this team, man.
It was. Stop me if you've heard this before. The Grizzlies shot three-pointers really poorly.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, it's weird. That's seems to be the case. The Grizzlies, if you missed it, fall 111-104 to the Pelicans last night. The Grizzlies 12 of 43 from three-point range. And Desmond Bane was 5 of 10. So Desmond did his thing. Desmond finished with 31 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, goes 5 of 10 from 3, 11 of 22 for the field. So if you take Desmond Bane out of the mix, the rest of the team shot 7 of 33. That's 21% if you want to do the math. That's not good. That's all. It's not good.
Yeah. I wasn't planning on doing the math, so I knew it was bad.
I did it for you. I got it taken care of. Jaren Jackson Jr., 0 for 5 from 3, 2 for 9 from the field, 8 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, did have 5 blocks, 3 turnovers. In the first quarter, Jaren Jackson Jr., 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists. That's not good. That will qualify as the not good.
Yeah.
That's part of the not good. Xavier Tillman was good overall, 17 and 12, double-double. The only thing I don't like, Xavier Tillman took 5 threes. Xavier Tillman doesn't need to be shooting 5 threes. You know, people are mad at Jaren Jackson Jr. for shooting 5 threes. Jaren Jackson Jr. at least, does have the capability. And granted, he should not be shooting more threes than twos. That's the problem. He shot 5 threes, 4 twos. I don't understand that. I know they were running double teams at him, things like that. But you're 7 feet tall, basically, and 260 pounds. You gotta go to the basket. he like they run a double team at all at him, and he's just done. He's not even going to. It's get rid of it and repost, do some things like they've got to find a way for Jaron to be more involved in the offense, and it can't just be shooting threes. But Xavier Tillman's like a career 20-something% 3-point shooter. Xavier Tillman does not need to be attempting threes. This 5-out offense, I just don't. I'm not sure if it's going to result in Xavier Tillman shooting 5 threes. I'm not on board. Marcus Smart in his debut, 17 points. Did some good things. He was 2 of 6 from 3-point range. Did have 5 turnovers. The bench, David Roddy, 9 points. Derrick Rose had 8, 3 of 11 shooting for Rose. He was 2 for 4 from 3-point range. Luke Kennard, 0 for 5. And got some really good looks, like some wide open looks. Then he got hit in the face. And I don't know that he ever came back to the bench. I don't think so. I don't think he ever came back. So I don't know what, he was holding his nose. I don't know if he got what exactly happened to him and how serious it might be. But he got some really good looks in that game and goes 0 for 5 for 3. Like that's, you would think that's not going to happen very often. I mean, talking about one of the best shooters in the league going 0 for 5. Meanwhile, for New Orleans, C.J. McCollum, doing what he does to the Grizzlies, he kills them. 24 points, 6 of 11 from 3, 6 assists for him. Brandon Ingram had 19. Zion Williamson ends up with 23 points. And I listening on the way in today, they do the report in the game, like Zion Williamson, 20, like that's the only person they mentioned. Zion Williamson was bad most of the night. He was out of control and bad, and he had the back-to-back dunks in the third quarter, I think it was. And then in the fourth quarter, now, there was still a chance the Grizzlies could have come back. It wasn't completely maybe out of reach. But so he made sure the Grizzlies were going to come back. But he did most of his damage when the game was kind of out of hand in the fourth quarter. Like, Zion did not play well. The dude was out of control for the entire first half. Like, kept losing the basketball. Like, did nothing whatsoever. But he ends up with 23 points. Everybody's like, oh, look at Zion, 23 points. Like, no, it was not a good performance by Zion. Sorry. He had one good quarter. And again, that was with the game somewhat out of reach. Grizzlies it was funny, they kept getting it within like 8 or 9. But then immediately New Orleans would send it back to 12. Like, it seemed like every time Grizzlies make a couple of shots, then they would even usually get a possession down 8 or 9. They would not be able to convert. And then New Orleans would go down and somebody would hit a 3, like McCollum or Matt Ryan off the bench or somebody. Grizzlies got it to 9 with 9 something to go. And then the Pelicans scored the next 7 points. It went to 16, and then it was never in doubt from that point on, really. But they went through a stretch there in, I believe it was the third quarter. Or no, it was second quarter. Because they were up 28-25. They came out and they scored back. I want to say they might have scored back-to-back possessions start the second quarter. I think Rose hit a 3 on the second possession. And then it felt like they went like 30 minutes without scoring. And during that time, all they did was shoot 3-pointers. It was just 3 after 3 after 3 after 3 after 3. And I'm like, and I was sitting in the stands, like everybody around me was like, somebody just shoot a 2-point shot. I don't care what it is, just somebody shoot a 2-point shot. Like, you can't just keep throwing up bricks from 3-point range. At some point, somebody go to the basket. I mean, 43 threes for a team that I just don't. That's too many. That's too many threes for this team. Again, when you're starting 4 and 5, are 1 for 10 from 3-point range. I just don't. Again, Jaren, I'm fine with him shooting some threes. Not more threes than 2s, and especially not right now. And Xavier Tillman, I don't see a need for Xavier Tillman to shoot a 3. There's the old thing, like, you're open for a reason. Like, they want you to shoot that shot. That's the shot they're hoping you shoot. And again, with this 5-out offense, he's out there lingering around that 3-point line. He's going to be open for some threes. I don't see the need for him to take 5 of them. Again, it's one of 82.
Yeah.
Now, you got Denver coming in tomorrow night.
It's not ideal. It's not ideal.
I think that is a good way to put it. That is not ideal. By the way, 6 o'clock game time tomorrow night, folks. Don't get confused. It is a 6 o'clock game time tomorrow night. And no, it's not national television or anything else. They're starting at 6 o'clock because they got a back-to-back and they got to travel and they want to save an hour. I don't understand it, but that's just the way it is. But it's a 6 o'clock game time tomorrow night to get there. Then you go to Washington. And then you got Dallas coming in on Monday. You don't want to start 0-4.
No.
So you certainly don't want to start 0-4 with 3 of those games being at home. But Denver, obviously very good. Dallas, pretty good. Washington, not so much. You better win at Washington. But second of a back-to-back, all of that stuff. Because you don't want to get off to the whole thing is these first 25 games. You're just trying to tread water during these first 25. You don't want to get off to a terrible start and be 1-8, something like that to start it. And then you're constantly trying to catch up just to get to that 500 mark. Then Ja's back and you're like, man, how can we ever get to 500? So you don't want to do that. It was a disappointment. Again, the Pelicans are a team that was pretty good, especially with Zion healthy. That's a pretty good team. When you're talking about McCollum, Zion, Ingram, Valanciunas, it's a pretty good team. So it's not like, oh gosh, how we lost to a terrible bunch. But it was just not good. It was just a rough game to watch because they just kept missing threes, and you get so frustrated watching them continue to shoot the threes when nobody can make a three other than Desmond Bane.
Right. And the thing is about that as well, because how I guess in that second quarter, how they're moving the ball around the 3-point line, I was like, okay, that's a good shot. That's a good shot. But then after a while, like you said, all right, somebody got to get to the basket. It's like Valanciunas is not on the floor. Zion is not on the floor. You got Larry. I get it. Larry Nance can jump out of the gym, can swat anything. But at some point, you gotta get at least to the rim.
Yeah. Again, the whole 5-out offense, part of that idea is you're creating space for driving lanes. Well, if you create space for driving lanes but never drive, does it really matter?
You're building houses on the outside. So.
Obviously, Ja is the main guy that would be doing that driving, but he's not going to be there for a while. So Jaren has got to be aggressive and go to the basket. And in the second half, when he started doing it a little bit, what happened? He would either score or get fouled pretty much every time. Again, Smart was fine. Zaire was fine. Nothing really in particular either way on him. But you can't have Luke Kennard go 0 for 5. That's obvious. He's got to make threes. And you got to get the right guys shooting the threes. When they make 2 more threes but attempt 11 less, or 11 fewer, that's a problem.
Yeah.
But they've got the right. Even Valanciunas now shoots threes. That's part of his thing. You leave him open, he's going to shoot threes. But Zion didn't attempt a three. Zion knows that's not my game. I'm going to be aggressive going to the basket. Some of it gets him out of control and turnovers and all that stuff. But he's not shooting threes. It was just a frustrating. I will say this. Other positives. The introductions with Zebo and Tony doing the introductions.
Yeah.
Cool. That was cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, that was nice.
Tony is clearly now we have put our arms back around Tony Allen.
It is
He cleared up all those legal things. Arms around Tony, and the grind father is back. When we say those T-shirts say back to the grind, also back to the grind father. He's back in good graces. Here we go. Full steam ahead. What are you talking about legal issues? Nothing to see here. But that was cool. The symphony orchestra, all that stuff with the national anthem. I will say this, though. Maybe the longest introductions in history. From the time they announced the New Orleans starting lineup to the time they finished the Grizzlies introductions, felt like it was 20 minutes.
I think it was.
Because they started playing the music, and I was like, okay, but where are the players? And the orchestra's playing like for a long time, and I'm like, seriously, no, where are the Grizzlies players? Then they go to the dude, who's the little the dancer dude that they went to on the video board then he got out of the way and the players finally emerged. Lil Buck or something, is that his name?
I didn't even know. I wasn't even paying attention.
Yeah. So because the camera pans back to like the players are still back in the hallway.
Yeah.
And the door's closed. And then, so he's doing his thing. And then he gets out of the way. They finally open the door. I'm like, oh, hey. We have players. That's good. They showed up.
They're on time.
I was getting concerned, but they're here. So then they come out, and then that's just the substitutes. They make this very slow walkout. Some of them go up and dap up Zebo and Tony. And I'm like, wow, are we ever actually announcing the starting lineup? And then finally they got it started. They drug it out quite a bit. But it was cool. It was cool. And the crowd was great. Like it was all set up to be a fun night. Good, fun opening night until they started shooting threes.
Well, that first quarter felt fun, at least.
Well, the first possession, little pick and roll, Tillman down the lane, gets the dunk. Yeah, here we go. Who needs Steven Adams?
Biggs? What Biggs?
Yeah, in the first quarter, 28-25, you're good. Pelicans did not have a second chance point in the first quarter. However, they scored 25 over the next three.
Yeesh.
Grizzlies end up that was the other thing besides the three-point shooting. Grizzlies out-rebounded 52-37. That we know is going to be an issue. Without Steven Adams, that is going to be the glaring issue that you're going to have to try and figure out, especially against a team that has Jonas Valanciunas, Zion Williamson. That's a tough matchup up front. And this is a team that last year, when you have Steven Adams, the best rebounding team in the league. Now, how do you make up for that lack of rebounding? That's the biggest question. But nonetheless, again, it's just one of 82. Sun rises today. Denver will be here tomorrow. That one may not go well. Probably won't. Then it's at Washington. Then you got Dallas here on Monday. If you want to chime in on the Grizzlies, you certainly can. We got some texts that we will get to coming up in our next segment. You could call in 901-360-8255. You could text in as well as the Grizzlies fall 111-104 to the Pelicans last night in the season opener. And again, Denver tomorrow night, 6 o'clock tip time. Well, actually about 6:10, but an hour earlier than normal tomorrow night down at FedEx Forum. This hour of our program is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware. I don't know that East Memphis Ace Hardware has anything to help the Grizzlies' three-point shooting. However, they do have something to help you. Whatever project you are trying to get accomplished at home, whatever do-it-yourself project you've got, they're going to have your supplies for you. I go there often because the Big Green Egg, it's where I got my Big Green Egg. They have all the egg accessories, but also just for things that I need to do around the house. It's a great place to stop by, get those supplies. Again, they've got a great staff. If you can't find exactly what it is you're looking for, you ask somebody, they'll know exactly where it is. Or they may say, we don't have that necessarily, but this will do the same thing. Or, hey, we can order that for you and get it in a day or two. Very, very simple, and a great staff to help you at East Memphis Ace Hardware. It's corner of White Station and Quince in East Memphis, and they bring you hour number one of the program. We'll get to your text, your calls, 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255. On the Grizzlies' season opening loss to the Pelicans last night down at FedEx Forum, 111-104 was the final as the Grizzlies go to 0-1 on the season. This is Sports 56 Mornings, just getting started on this Thursday here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Want to play a private country club but only pay daily greens fees? Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis is your place. You can now play a beautiful, challenging course for only $59 plus tax, including cards. Meadowbrook Country Club features champion Bermuda greens and now is available to everyone. A membership is only $350 per month and includes tennis, pickleball, and swimming, plus a great restaurant and bar. Golf Pro Mark can even fix you up with custom-made tricks on clubs. Call 870-394-4186 today for your Tuesday through Sunday tee time at Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis.
Hey, Mid-South, you looking for a new ride that'll save you some big bucks? We got it at Gossett Kia on the Pike. A new ride that boosts 41 mpg highway and 2023 Kia Forte LXS. $229 a month, $29.99 to its signing. How about 2023 Nero EV Wind SUV? 253 miles of EPA estimated range, $269 a month, $49.99 to its signing. And 2023 Kia EV6 Wind. Get up to 134 city, 101 highway MPGE, $399 a month, $49.99 to its signing. Plus a free charger with your EV purchase. All 36-month leases and Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month lease, $650 acquisition fee, Forte PE 678 6055, MSRP 21610, Nero P5017859, MSRP 41090, EV6 P5017859, MSRP 49687. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/31/23 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Pizza lovers and sports fanatics, Ferraro's Pizzeria is your Sunday ticket headquarters. Catch every pro game on multiple big screen TVs while enjoying $2 beers, $9 beer buckets, and mouth-watering pizza. We're talking the cheesiest, most delicious New York pizzas in town with all your favorite toppings. What are you waiting for? Grab your family and friends and get to Ferraro's, corner of Jackson and Main, just east of the Pyramid. Enjoy every pro game at Ferraro's Pizzeria and Cheesy Corner, your game day destination.
Roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. They're moving a stalled car. I was up against the wall a few minutes ago on 240 westbound at Gatwell. It's busy now on 385 coming inbound. Bill Morris Parkway, all that traffic leaving Collierville, headed towards Shelby County. This time of the morning, crowded but moving I-40 east across the bridge over from west Memphis. Weimer's Jewelry, located 7525 Highway 64, is your full-service family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
I got a little change in my pocket going jingle-lang.
Welcome back here to the Family Leisure Studios on this Thursday, 7:26 the time. Sports 56 listed on line 901-360-8255. Raider Corey texts in, says, nice crowd. Grizzlies promoted a pregame plaza party. It didn't happen. No, they did not. They had a DJ inside. Because Dennis O'Connor, when he joined us the other day, said that there was not anything outside necessarily on the plaza. It was, they had a DJ. I think we're supposed to have a DJ. I don't know if they did. I assume they did. But there was a DJ inside in the kind of the indoor plaza, whatever you call, I don't, whatever you would call that little lobby area when you walk in. But they did not talk about a pregame plaza party. Simply put, we got to get more from Jaron and long ball Luke, especially during these first 25 games. Bain did his part. Smart was okay. Tillman played really well. But overall, I agree with Jenkins. Will be fine. Grizz just didn't make shots, and they will. Will they? Again, yes, Kennard's going to make shots. Like that again, he's too good of a shooter not to. But Bain, we know that. But certainly, I mean, and again, Jaron is going to be better than what he was shooting last night. I don't think Tillman ever should shoot those threes. But yeah, again, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Denver lost an opening night last year. You can recover from an opening night loss. You have a chance to recover over the next 81 games for that loss.
Yeah.
I think. Ron says Jaron will bring it for about half the games. That's who he is. Well, they can't have that. No. Jaron's, especially these first 25, they need Jaron every night. They need Jaron absolutely every night. Keith says Jackson nor Tillman should ever take a three. The idea of Jackson being a three-point shooter needs to stop. Now, that I disagree with. I don't have a problem with Jaron attempting threes. Jaron shot 35% from three-point range last year. And he had 1 year where he shot 39%. Jaron has the ability to shoot threes. The problem is, again, Jaron shooting more threes than twos. That can't happen. Last year, he attempted about 4.5 threes per game, and he attempted about 8.5 twos per game. That's more of a ratio. He should be attempting about 2 twos for every three. I don't have a problem with Jaron, and we even asked Michael Cole about this, I think, last week. What's that number for Jaron? He said in that 4, maybe to 5 3-point shots a game.
Yeah.
But that's on the idea that he's going to get 13 to 15 field goal attempts overall per game, not 5 threes out of 9 total field goal attempts. Now, again, Tillman last year was 4 of 15 from three-point range. So again, now obviously he didn't play as much until the end of the year, but he's attempted a third of the threes he attempted all of last year already this season in one game. The year before that, he was 10 for 49. Tillman, I don't believe, should be shooting threes. I'm okay with Jaron shooting some threes, but Jaron has to be more aggressive in at least attempting. Like some of those when he's wide open, trailing on the break, things like that. Okay. But generally, I do agree, Jaron needs to be much more aggressive and attack the rim and do it off the dribble. He has the ability to do it. Just do it. We saw it last year. It doesn't have to be go down to the post and give him the basketball. He has the ability to put the ball on the floor and go to the rim. And he's, again, in the end, in the second half when he started doing that, he would score or get fouled. That's generally what's going to happen on those because he's hard to guard and he has the ability to put the ball on the floor.
Yeah, yeah. But I tell you one thing though, I think this is kind of a breath of fresh air in a sense. Even though they didn't shoot it well. I think already in the first game, having Marcus Smart taking threes and making threes is much more of relief than watching Dylan taking and making threes.
Did you see what Dylan did last night?
I didn't.
4 of 6 from three-point range. So, I don't know. Now, granted, they got beat by 30 by Orlando, but Dylan went. How about this? Dylan only took 7 shots.
Oh, now he wants to take.
He only took 7 shots in the game. He tied for team high honor. He had 14 points, which that tied him for their leading scorer. But he took 6 3. He was 4 of 6 from three-point range last night for the Rockets.
That's funny.
Marcus Smart was 2 for 6. Dylan Brooks was 4 for 6. Clearly, we need Dylan here to be our shooter.
Oh, here we go.
We clearly need Dylan. We need his shooting. I've been trying to tell you guys that. We need Dylan shooting on this team. Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, you got to be kidding me. On the night that the Grizzlies go 12 of 43, Dylan Brooks goes 4 for 6. Max says Grizzlies will have to fire Jenkins before the All-Star break, and it won't be because Ja missed all those games. We've gone as far as we can with this coach.
Man, game one?
It's
game one? Firing the coach game one
Game
now?
one without your starting point guard or starting center.
Or the or the reserve.
I will say this for Max. There are a lot of people I know who do believe, and I've talked about this before, that like Taylor Jenkins has like maxed out what he can get out of this team. And there people will they always bring it up as he's kind of the Doug Collins of the Grizzlies. Doug Collins did some great things with Jordan's Bulls, but like he couldn't ever get them over to that next step. So they fire him, Phil Jackson comes in, and the rest is history. I'm not saying I still don't even know what to think of Taylor Jenkins, really. But he's not getting fired midseason unless this thing turned into a colossal disaster. But even then, I don't even know when you're without Ja for 25 games. Taylor certainly is a nice guy. Again, this whole 5-out offense thing, I don't know. Again, if it's going to lead to Xavier Tillman shooting 5 threes, then maybe we may have to reconsider some of these things. Elsewhere in the NBA last night, Victor Wembanyama made his debut. He battled foul trouble. He got 2 in the first, and he got two more immediately in the third. But in the fourth quarter, he had 9 points in the fourth. Finishes with 15 points, 5 rebounds, 1 block. They lose to Dallas. Luka goes for a triple-double, 33, 13, and 10. I mentioned Dylan goes 4 for 6 from three-point range, 14 points. They lose by 30 to the Magic. So some new players there in Houston, but the result's still the same. Kristaps Porzingis, 30 points in his Celtics debut against his former team, the Knicks. 30 points, 8 rebounds, 4 blocks. Most points ever by a Celtic in their debut with the team, which is, there's some pretty good players that have come through there. But he goes for 30. And hey, you think it's bad for the Grizzlies just losing their opener? How about the Bulls? The Bulls had a players-only meeting after their loss last night.
Wait, huh?
Yes.
Wait, what?
They lost 124 to 104 to Oklahoma City, and reportedly had a players-only meeting after the game. How bad? What has got to be going on in your locker room area that after one game of the season, you have to have a players-only meeting to clear the air? Like, how bad was the preseason in Chicago? What the hell's going on in practices up there?
Hey, man, listen. Tell me your price for Levine and DeRozan right now, man. Tell me your price. I want to know.
According to the report, Billy Donovan comes walking in after the game, and the players were already in a discussion, and they said, "Hey, can we have the room for a little while?" A players only meeting after one game. I can't even. It's unbelievable.
So team chemistry during training camp didn't work. So.
Dude, I don't know. Are they having fist fights in practice? I don't even know what can be happening to get to that point after one game.
Hi.
Kip on YouTube says, Jenkins has taken a team that's never been good at shooting threes and told them to shoot more threes. In some ways, yes. That's what they want to do. That's the thing. In the end, we can talk about the 12 of 43, and I do believe that 43 threes is probably too many. But again, my biggest thing is who's shooting the threes. If the right people are shooting the threes, I'm fine with Luke Kennard going 0 for 5 from three-point range, because I know Luke Kennard's going to make them, so he should shoot 5 threes. I'm not fine with Xavier Tillman taking the same amount of threes as Luke Kennard, even though he made one more. He made one more. But that can't be. But that, because of analytics and all of this, that's what the Grizzlies want to do. They are going to shoot a bunch of threes. It is, they either want to get layups or shoot threes. That's because that is the new world of basketball. That's the mid-range game is, analytics tell you that's dumb. You should not be shooting any twos, basically unless they're layups or in the paint. So what we saw last night, we're going to see a lot more. Like, they're going to shoot threes constantly. Again, it's got to be the right people shooting them, and those people have to do their job. Luke Kennard has to make threes. And Jaren has to at least make some threes. Laravia goes 0 for 2. Like, he's got to, if he's going to be out there, Laravia's got to make threes. That's really what he's out there for. We did not see John Conchar last night, which surprised me. I didn't think he would be out of the rotation. We had that lineup with Rose, Roddy, Laravia. I think Tillman was out there.
It was Zaire.
And Zaire.
Or Luke or something.
And
like
I was
that?
like, yeah, maybe.
It was Luke.
And I'm like, I don't know about this one. And again, Jaren was bad last night, so it's hard. But to me, like, either Jaren or Bane has to be on the floor.
Yeah.
At all times. I mean, Bane, like last night, you're like, God, could we just play Bane 48 minutes because he's the only guy doing anything, not necessarily. But, I mean, and you might be able to get away with if Smart's out there, but I don't know. That line, I was like, I just don't know who's scoring out of this group. Like, Derrick Rose isn't scoring right now. Like, that's not going to be his thing.
Right. But he's capable of kind of getting to the rim and getting some easy shots.
And then you got Roddy and Laravia. And then it's just, I don't know. It was, some of the lineups were a little strange to me, but again, yes, to Kip's point, they are going to shoot a bunch of threes. That's what they want to do. And that's not just Taylor Jenkins. Like, that's what the front office, like, that's what they all believe. That's what they believe in, because that's what analytics is telling them. This is either layups or threes. That's what you shoot. No need for any mid-range game. Other NBA news yesterday, NBA announces that it's going back to the East versus West for the All-Star game. I don't really know why. Like, I thought the captain stuff kind of worked out fine. I mean, the All-Star game is what it is. It doesn't matter. I don't care what the format is. And they're also going to go back to the 4 12-minute quarters, so no Elam ending target score finish, which that part I actually liked. I thought that made it a little bit more entertaining. They are still playing each quarter as like an individual game for charity. The rosters will still be the same as far as they'll pick 12 players from each conference, but now it's back to the East versus West format for the NBA All-Star game for whatever that is worth. Last night in college football, Jacksonville State knocked off Florida International 41-16. Jacksonville State 7-2 now, as they're in that transition phase. And then Sam Houston looked like they were going to get their first win of the year, but they could not do it. Could not hold on. UTEP chased them down in the fourth. Sam Houston goes to 0-8 on the year. They've had a bunch of close games. They just can't figure out a way to win them. UTEP wins that one 37-34. Of course, our final hour today, we'll have a lot of college football talk, including our Pick 6, when Harold Grader joins us for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. Tonight, Georgia State at Georgia Southern, and then Syracuse at Virginia Tech. 2 games tonight in college football. Of course, the NFL week kicks off tonight with the Bucs visiting the Bills. When we come back, we shift our attention to baseball. World Series gets underway tomorrow night between the Rangers and the Diamondbacks. Kerry Miller joins us, as he does each and every Thursday, to talk some Major League Baseball next here on Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
They're taking care of business in Memphis, right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their products. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called Godhopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Start your day the right way at La Palapa with the biggest, baddest breakfast burrito around. Chorizo, cheese, rice, beans, and eggs served with fresh salsa, and it's served all day. La Palapa has daily lunch specials, all served with rice and beans, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Try a torta, breaded chicken, steak, chorizo, or ham served with mayo, avocado, lettuce, tomato, and jalapenos, all in a hoagie. Plus amazing soups and dinner entrees, all at La Palapa, 5255 Summer Avenue. La Palapa, the little hut with big taste.
All 36-month lease, $650 acquisition fee, Forte PE 678 6055, MSRP 21610, Nero P 5017859, MSRP 41090, EV6 P 5017859, MSRP 49687. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/31/23 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Hey, Jeff Allen, the weather's getting cooler, but the deals keep on getting hotter at Gossett Kia South. What you got going on, Jeff?
Only the best deals you'll find on your new Kia, Randy. I've got 41 MPG Highway in a new 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $229 a month, $29.99 due at signing. I've got EV action with a 2023 Nero EV Win SUV, 253 miles of EPA estimated range, $269 a month, $49.99 due at signing. And a 2023 Kia EV6 Win, 134 city, 101 highway MPGE, $399 a month, $49.99 due at signing. All 36-month lease.
Plus a free charger with your EV purchase and Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Get back to the grind with your Memphis Grizzlies tomorrow at 6 p.m. when they host the Denver Nuggets. Arrive early to check out the 191 Collabs pop-up shop presented by Hennessy. Get ready for a star-studded show and secure your tickets today by calling 901-888-HOOP or visiting Grizzlies.com.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back here to the Family Leisure Studio, 746 the time. Eli and Zach with Greg today. Going to be a nice day today once again. Temperatures in the 80s. There is a chance for some rain overnight tonight. Not like anything crazy, but maybe a chance for a little bit of rain in the overnight hours tonight into your Friday. Again, the Grizzlies lose last night in their season opener, 111-104. They're back in action tomorrow night as they will welcome in the Denver Nuggets. Also tomorrow night, the World Series will get underway. Game 1 between the Rangers and the Diamondbacks, as that will be played down in Arlington. And joining us to talk a little Major League Baseball is our man from the Bleacher Report, Kerry Miller, joins us each and every Thursday. Kerry, I know you were high on the Diamondbacks in the preseason. I don't even think anybody could have possibly foreseen they would be a World Series team, though.
No, absolutely not. I tweeted that out. I had one of the first articles that I write, once I come out of my college basketball coma, in late March, I always do one team from each division who I think is going to exceed expectations. Texas, I believe their over-under was like 82.5 wins. I thought that was an easy over. And Arizona was something like 74.5, even though they won, I think, that many games this past season. And then, added Gabriel Moreno, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. I mean, it seemed like they were going to be better. But, yeah, even though I had both of them being better than, the odds makers did, I had no clue that would be the World Series pairing. And it's wild. I mean, it's the year of the upset for sure.
And you look at the way that the two of them get here. First of all, with the Rangers in that weird series with Houston, and the road team wins every game. Mm-hmm. Again, Houston, I just don't understand their season and why they're so bad at home and so great on the road. That doesn't compute whatsoever. But I mean, that offense, when it gets going, it's tough to control that offense. Like they just mash the baseball when they get going.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like late May when it started to feel like they legitimately might be the best team in the majors. I mean, Tampa Bay was coming back to earth. Atlanta hadn't hit its stride yet. The Dodgers were kind of struggling. It felt like the Rangers' world, just the way they were mashing the ball. They were leading the majors in run differential in late May, and then they just kind of tread water for 4 months. They had that rough patch August into September, but turned it around. Like you said, when they're going, man, like even their 9-hitter, Leody Taveras, like he can homer, he can get triples, and it's just it's impressive what they've been able to do. Considering they spent their offseason spending money on pitching. I mean, they spent more on starting pitching than any other team this season. But against all odds, Jordan Montgomery and Nathan Eovaldi. It was supposed to be Jacob deGrom and then later Max Scherzer who were leading this charge.
That's the thing, and I said that like normally if you're like you do what they did offseason, where you put go crazy and go get this high-priced free agent starting pitcher, number one ace of your staff, and Jacob deGrom, and he gets hurt and basically doesn't pitch for you. Like that's hard to overcome at all, let alone overcome and make the World Series.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean certainly nobody was writing them off when deGrom got hurt because they did have that offensive firepower. But, yeah, for them to be spending that kind of money on a guy who's not playing for them is kind of – I mean, they'd be like if the Nationals were winning with Steven Strasburg, just maybe retired, I don't know, but still making $35 million per year. It's not the way it's supposed to work out, but – I don't think 5 versus 6 in the World Series is how it's supposed to work out either.
And then you look at the Diamondbacks. There's nobody in the world that thought after 2 games of that series with what Philadelphia did them in games 1 and 2, like the idea of them winning 4 of the next 5 was impossible. Even after going back to Philadelphia, there's no way they win 2 straight games in Philadelphia. And yet they do it. Like they go in there and they shut down Philadelphia, who would just kill the baseball at home, homering everywhere, and suddenly they can't get a hit. And it's like it's crazy their story that Brandon Pfaadt, who with 3-9 during the regular season, is out there looking like a Cy Young Award winner when it matters in Game 7.
Brandon Pfaadt, who when he got called up, I was excited. I snagged him on my fantasy team. What a letdown he was for me the whole regular season. It's a keeper league. I don't think I kept him for a month, but I think the Phillies were like 15-1 their last 16 starts at home with either Zach Wheeler or Aaron Nola going on the mound for them, and it felt like there was no way Arizona was going to go in there and win a game. The Phillies were 6-0 at home in the postseason up until games 6 and 7, and you mentioned Pfaadt. How in the world did Arizona win Game 4 with Joe Mantiply started? They had 9 relievers going in that game when they had one of the worst bullpens during the regular season. That's what's the craziest thing about these two teams. Like Arizona's bullpen had like a 4.22 ERA in the regular season. Texas's was 4.77. All of a sudden they find 3 guys they both trust, and they're invincible in the 7th through 9th innings, except for one instance where Jose Altuve homered off of Jose Leclerc. I mean, it's small sample size for the win, right?
Yeah, see, that to me, it's the beauty of baseball is like you look at this, there's no way this should happen, but it just does because guys like it's It's a weird sport, man. I mean, especially when guys are throwing 98 mile an hour and they're throwing these sliders, like you may not get hits or you might hit balls at people all the time. And it just weird things can happen, and two teams that nobody would have ever expected can match up in the World Series. I mean, Christian Javier goes from being like the greatest postseason pitcher ever to suddenly he can only get one out. Like,
yeah,
and that's why I always like people want to say like, "Oh, Atlanta, what a terrible disappointment that they don't win the World Series." Like, weird stuff happens in baseball. It is hard to win a World Series, even when going back to the old Braves, even when you have a dominant pitching rotation. Just weird things can happen, and you can lose a 1-0 game or a 2-1 game.
Exactly. And it's such a small sample size, especially the ALDS, NLDS best of 5. If that series ends in 3 games, that's the equivalent of like 1.5% of the regular season. Like that's one out of however many series there are, like 54, something like that, series during the race. It's just, and baseball is inherently more random than football to begin with, but it's the equivalent of like 1 1/2 quarters of one football game. Like, what, you can't expect the best team to always advance. Like you said, it's crazy things are going to happen.
Who do you give the advantage to in the World Series?
I think Texas has the advantage, but I also thought Arizona was going to get swept in every series up until this point. So I don't even know what to expect. But yeah, I think just offensively, I find it hard to believe that Arizona, where I know Corbin Carroll came alive in a big way in Game 7 against the Phillies, but aside from that, it's been like Marte or bust for them this entire. I really don't even know how they've won as many games as they have with as little offense as they've had. I mean, Moreno occasionally homers. Alec Thomas has come out of nowhere to hit a couple of home runs, but I don't see how they hang with Texas unless Adolis Garcia takes whatever Nick Castellanos took in the NLCS and just stops hitting the ball entirely.
Yeah, the Castellanos thing was like when he hit that home run in Game 1 coming out of the division. I was like, oh my gosh, this guy may never get out again, and then he literally does not get another hit for the entire series, which is again impossible to predict how that could possibly happen. Evaldi versus Zach Gallen, Game 1. Evaldi's just been, I mean, heck, the dude's been unbelievable. Zach Gallen's a heck of a pitcher, but Evaldi in the postseason is just great.
Yeah, big game Nate. He's got 4 quality starts, 4 for 4 in that department. I mean, pitchers almost never win World Series MVP. I think Strasburg did in 2019. Bumgarner certainly did in 2014. Those are probably the only ones in the last 15 years. But I could see Evaldi winning it if he's going Game 1, and if there even is a Game 5. He would be on the mound for Game 5, I assume. And he's just been so clutch for them. He's not your vintage Verlander or Scherzer. He's not going to go out there and get 15 strikeouts, right? But he's going to get his guys. He keeps them off balance. He does such a fantastic job for them. And like I've been saying, I don't know if Arizona's offense can hang with Texas' offense, especially against Evaldi and Montgomery.
Dusty Baker retiring. Obviously, that Astros job is going to be very attractive when you get to take over that roster. You've got the Mets job out there. I mean, that's a pretty good roster. They're spending a lot of money. The Giants now open with the move of Melvin. The Guardians. Is there any other job open?
Angels.
Angels, that's right. Angels, yeah. So who are the Craig Counsell's going to interview with the Mets, and there is still that question about him with Milwaukee, but who are the candidates to fill these jobs? Again, you got some pretty attractive ones.
Yeah, it certainly Counsell's number one and seems to be number 1, 2, and 3 at the top of most of these lists. I mean, I'm actually working right now on a ranking of current managers now that Dusty Baker's gone, Buck Showalter's not with the Mets, Terry Francona retired. So it's like, who the heck is even left at this point? Like I've got Bochy at number 1, and then I guess Dave Roberts, Brian Snitker, Kevin Cash. It's kind of, we're in a weird spot right now as managers. It doesn't feel like if the Nationals fired Davey Martinez tomorrow, there are 3 current managers I would actually want them to go get. That's where we're at right now. But yeah, I'd certainly Craig Counsell. I mean, what he's been able to do with Milwaukee. I mean, when he got that job, they were smack dab in the middle of oh crap, we bet our entire 2010s budget on Ryan Braun not doing PEDs, and we don't know what to do now. And he turned that franchise around. I mean, Houston, the Dodgers, and Milwaukee, the only teams that have won at least 86 wins in each of the last 162 game seasons. Take out 2020. But for him to be that consistently good at a place that doesn't have money, imagine what he could do with Steve Cohen's bankroll.
Exactly.
I think they could be really, really impressive really fast.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. There's 5 manager openings and the Yankees aren't one of them. I still can't figure that whole situation out. I'd like still stuck. And I see, is Buck Showalter really he was mentioned for the Astros? Are we going to keep recycling Buck Showalter?
Probably, given the lack of other solid managers right now. I mean, if I put him on the honorable mentions list. Like, he's not technically an active manager, so I technically shouldn't rank him. But if he is, he's the top 5 manager in the majors right now. Like, that's where we're at. So I'm sure he'll be a strong candidate for both the Angels and the Astros openings.
All right, so you got the Rangers in how many?
I think I said 6 just because I'm not willing to say it'll be a sweep, but it does feel like I don't want to disrespect Arizona, but still, I mean, they won 84 games. They had a negative run differential during the regular season. I can't believe in them, right? It's got to be Texas.
You would think, again, which probably means the Diamondbacks sweep the series or something. Who knows? The way this is going, that just means that Arizona will find a way to win the series. He is Kerry Miller. You can follow him on Twitter at Carrance James. You can also, of course, read his work at Bleacher Report, keeping me up to date with the World Series. And then college basketball is right around the corner again, Kerry.
Yes. I'm excited. I can't wait to dive back into brackets and remember what a basketball looks like.
Kerry, thank you so much, man. We'll talk to you again next week.
You got to take care.
Kerry Miller joining us from the Bleacher Report. Up next, we turn our attention to college football, the Tigers in particular, as Ryan Silverfield joins us. And then we've got the Tiger Football Report coming your way in hour number 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings, live in the Family Leisure Studios on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey everybody, Chevy truck season, it's here. And if you're ready for a new Silverado, All-Star Chevrolet, right here in Olive Branch has deals that are spot on to save you money. And let's be real, your good credit deserves it. Financing as low as 0. No payment for 90 days. That could be next year. Plus, you get $1,000 in cash, and All-Star has all the Silverados. Fall road trips, tailgating, Thanksgiving, Christmas, timing could not be better. So come to Olive Branch and drive a new Tahoe or Traverse. And if it's a certified pre-owned Chevy or any pre-owned you want, All-Star is loaded up. Camaro convertibles, Suburbans, Lexuses. If it's not here, just ask Jeff and he will find it for you. And Jeff and Kevin told me to thank all of you who are bringing your cars and trucks here to sell. You could get a check today for some crazy good money. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah or Bartlett or Carterville. It's got to be Olive Branch, people. So find new roads to All-Star Chevy today or go to allstarautogroup.com.
How long has it been since you heard the term being overstocked? Well, it's happened at Family Leisure. Yep. That means you get the savings, like select patio sets that are up to 50% off. If you need a play gym, you're in luck because they're also overstocked and start at under $2,000. Pool tables and game room items up to $700 off of in-stock items. Saunas, massage chairs, arcades, even theater seating. Special financing is available with free delivery. Family Leisure is extending sale pricing on all in-stock hot tubs and swim spas. And if you need supplies to close up your pool for the winter, Family Leisure has them up to 30% off. It's been a while since you've heard of an overstock sale, but Family Leisure is right in the middle of one. Huge deals and a huge overstocked inventory. That means great savings for you. It's happening now at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
It doesn't matter if you're at the lake, if you're hunting, fishing, playing golf, or just playing around, Scooters Plus can hook you up with the mobility that you need. Scooters Plus has the largest vehicle and parts inventory in the Mid-South and the best service department. You can choose from ATVs, UTVs, golf carts, motorcycles, dirt bikes, trikes, scooters, and even electric bikes. Come in today to start or wrap up your holiday shopping with 25% down on Christmas layaways. Scooters Plus, 3425 Summer Avenue. Call Sam at 458-8843 or go online to scootersplus.us.
When the weather gets better, I found a new place to really soak it in. It's the patio at the Commissary in Collierville. We all love the delicious Memphis-style barbecues. You can begin your barbecue fest with some great appetizers like the cheese plate or the tamales or the barbecue nachos. Oh, those smoked chicken wings, they're terrific too. Then dig into the ribs or the barbecue shoulder. Get it chopped or pulled on a sandwich. A big sandwich, or you can get it on a plate. You've got choice, and you've got choice in places. Don't forget the Germantown Commissary as well. Comes with beans and slaw, deviled eggs they're famous for. And Brad, you can even order by the pound, a 6-pack or an 8-pack or even a 12-pack. The Boss Man salad, the chicken plate, the barbecue shrimp. There's something for everybody, and those great desserts. The best icebox lemon pie anywhere. Or my favorite, the banana pudding. Check out the patio, TVs for sports, and music on the weekends. You love the Commissary.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Go where the season takes you, and it'll take you to huge savings at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Be packed with power in 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage G4. 37 MPG combined, $18,755 or $199 a month. Ready for adventure? 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. $25,595 or $299 a month. Plus 7 seating and top safety pick 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander SUV. $32,185 or $399 a month. And every new Gossett Mitsubishi is equipped with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You want it, we Gossett. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or 24/7 at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 84 months, 500 military rebate, loyalty, conquest rebate, 500 G4, RHFO 1918, MSRP 19255, Sport, PU 015 137, MSRP 26595, Outlander RZ 006545, MSRP 33185, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit, dealer stock only.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show, right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM, your Mid-South sports station.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Traffic still a little bit tied up over there at Getwell near Holmes on that terrible crash we had earlier. I still see a lot of traffic coming in from Fayette County right now as we stare at it live on 40 westbound, coming past 269 all the way up to Witten Road. A little bit crowded from time to time on Billmore, Parkway 385 there at Ridgeway, trying to get on that ramp to 240. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, they're back open better than ever. Go by and see them at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back. It is 8:06 here in the Family Leisure Studios. Eli Savoy with you. No Greg Gaston today. Hopefully he'll be back tomorrow. Zach Boyd is here as well. This hour of our program is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. And, of course, we come to you live from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, 2120 Winton Road, just north of I-40. It's where family and fun come together. It's time to talk to Coach Silverfield.
It's time to talk Memphis Tigers football. It's Sports 56 Mornings weekly visit with Tigers head coach Ryan Silverfield. Brought to you by ATC Fitness with 18 locations in Memphis and the Mid-South. Now, here's Coach Silverfield with Greg and Eli.
Tigers will head to Denton, Texas to take on the North Texas Mean Green coming up Saturday afternoon. And we talk to Coach Silverfield every week here on the program. Coach, how you doing?
Good morning, Eli. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I know you're doing last week. I don't know what the magic was you found at halftime, but what was the change in that first half, especially defensively for you guys, to what you were able to do to UAB in that second half?
Yeah, when I asked earlier in the week, was it a win-win for the Gipper speech? Was it a new creative scheme up on the whiteboard that no one has ever seen? It was this thing called tackling, and we, with that magic formula, we were able to find in the second half. Look, credit to our players, credit to the defensive staff. We kind of sat back in that game and said, okay, what do we need to change? What do we need to do? And find a way. Yeah, there were some tweaks, obviously, and some things that we adjusted. But going into that game, and I said this post-game, is, they had a starting quarterback that was doing very well. And he warmed up in pregame with the ones and their starters, and all of a sudden, right before kickoff, literally seconds before kickoff, he's over there in street clothes. And so, they kind of played one of those shell game deals and tricked a bunch of people, I guess, for whatever reason, and then ended up playing three different quarterbacks. So I think, just trying to get a feel for what each quarterback did. I mean, they ran offensive plays that they had never shown. And that's okay. That's part of our job, is to get lined up and find ways to attack. And I think once we figured out what they were trying to do with each quarterback, what they were trying to do offensively, we kind of settled down. I was able to get those takeaways, which made to a 24 unanswered points in the second half.
And I know one of the things that this defense in past years has been able to do is get those takeaways said. And I know you had to be thrilled to get those and be able to kind of get back to that and really dominate the turnover battle.
Yeah, I always say they come in droves, right? Like you can go a couple of weeks, and then when it rains, it pours, hopefully in the right direction for you. And, obviously, one, we always talk about, we cannot offensively ever turn the football over. And I think, we played a pretty clean game offensively. One ball popped out close to the end zone for Blake. We tell him every time he gets close to the 3-yard line, that ball gets too shaky. So, but offensively, being able to own the football, and then defensively, right, to get 4 takeaways, right, 3 interceptions, 1 for a pick six, the other close to it, and a forced fumble and a recovery. I mean, it's massive. It makes all the difference in the world. It went from being a close game on the road and a tight battle to a nice, what ended up being a pretty good blowout and a good Tigers win.
You mentioned Blake Watson, who we didn't know whether he was going to be going or not. He does, and has another outstanding game with 125 yards. And UAB did not have a good run defense, and you were able to kind of lean on the run game in this one.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. We go into games and we say, okay, we have an idea of the plan, and then so much often, like they game plan all week too. And you look at stats and you say, okay, statistically where they having issues versus the run, and then finding ways to exploit those. And then you may say, okay, this is what we planned for all week, and they change it. And we were fortunate they didn't change a ton of what they did defensively, so I thought we were able to find the answers in the run game, and Blake continues to run at a high level, obviously, for us.
As you get ready now for North Texas, obviously a team you saw last year, but they've got a different coach now. Eric Morris is a Mike Leach, Cliff Kingsbury kind of disciple. They run the ball. It seems like, just looking at the numbers, they run the ball more than those guys maybe have liked to run the ball. But is that the type of offense this team runs?
Yeah, so, they are an air raid, spread them out team. So you're going to get those aspects of that. But, when we played, any fans that are listening, right, when we played Mike Leach, and anybody that knows, rest his soul, when we played Mississippi State, it was an air raid, but they slowed it down, right? I mean, it was one of those, hey, we're going to be able to find where we can and get some of the answers. This North Texas team plays up-tempo. In fact, this will be the fastest tempo we faced all year. And a lot of that run game is, it's a spread them out, and then it's a handoff to the running back, and they've done a fantastic job of finding, holes. And with inside zone, the quarterback can run the ball. So there's a variety of different things they do. Now, a lot of those runs, I always say this, are sometimes those 5-yard runs are swing passes to the running back, and they let them get going. So they use a variety of their weapons, but it's not just going to be drop-back pass every single time.
Speaking of those weapons, they've got a receiver in Jamori Macklin who has 9 touchdowns, leads the conference in yards per catch, touchdowns. He was really good last year in yards per catch. So certainly a dynamic player that I guess you guys will have to try and make sure you, first of all, keep him in front because he's capable of the big play. Yeah, absolutely. He's explosive. I think everybody knows his cousin, Jeremy Macklin. First-round pick wide receiver, but he's explosive. That's one of those things. North Texas always had those guys that can get up and take the top off of things. So we have to play top down on him and find ways. If we let him get going like we've seen in previous games, he's quite explosive and can make a difference in the game. Now, their quarterback is a transfer from ULM. He's only thrown 1 interception on the year. He's got 215 straight passes without an interception. So we talk about turnovers, and here's a guy who really doesn't turn the ball over.
No, and you watch it, and I think it's, his first interception may have been his first game as a starter. He was a multi-year starter, I believe, at ULM and had success there, went in the portal. In fact, like everybody goes in the portal, you watch him, you look at him, he's got a great skill set, and he's just so proficient with the ball and what they're able to do. And there's a reason. Their offense is 14th in the country in yards per game, and so with the weapons they have around them, the ability to run the ball, and him not turning the ball over, it's going to be our defense has to bring it. We got to be consistent out there for 4 quarters.
Of course, going to Denton, it is a homecoming game for your quarterback, Seth Hennigan. I know he's going to have a lot of family there, a lot of folks there. Do you, with a situation like that, do you have to kind of have a conversation with him like, hey, just relax, don't kind of maybe get too hyped up in the fact that you've got all of this stuff, you're at home, and all these people are there to watch you?
He's a mature enough, maybe as a true freshman when he was 18. Now, he's only 20 years old, so he's still young. But he gets it. He understands, I think, in his mind. In fact, when people want to talk to him about it, he's like, oh, this is and he always looks at the next game as the most important and the next one. So he's never, I don't care if we're playing, Notre Dame in the national championship or Bethune-Cookman in the season opener. He's going to be calm, cool, and collected. And so he knows. He's going to have great folks when we get to the hotel. And I told him, hey, after the game, we can hug and high-five all the family and friends that are there to see you. But it's not going to change the way he goes out there. He prepares the right way. He cares. And, look, it's North Texas's homecoming. It will be Seth's homecoming as well. Hopefully we come out on the right side of the ball.
With a win, you would get to bowl eligible with your 6th win. Now, you've talked about it, that like bowl eligibility, that's kind of the bare minimum, and certainly there are much loftier goals ahead of this one. But to get that 6th win, how important would that be just to get that first kind of step out of the way?
Yeah, what I've done, and I mentioned this, I think, a couple weeks ago, Eli, on the show, was, when you start the season, every head coach in the country talks about winning the championship, right? It starts with conference championships, and whether it's Georgia or ULM, every single coach in the country talks about winning the conference championship because that has to be the immediate goal. Every coach has goals. Every coach has, this is what we're striving for. And if not, then why play the game? The reality of it is, we talk about those things. We put them out there, but now our focus, especially after the Tulane game, and we know if we do what we're supposed to, those goals are still in sight. Absolutely, right? We don't lose sight of those goals. That's always what we're striving for. But we've turned it into a 1 week at a time approach, and truly, it's been phenomenal for our players to sit there and say, "Okay, who's our opponent? What do we need to do to take care of it?" And at the end of the game, we'll look up at the scoreboard and we like the result. Yes, that checks in another box. That gets us to 6-2. Gets us the ball out. That's great. Then immediately, 24 hours later, our focus will turn on the next game. And so that's what I've been appreciative of our guys is. I say it all the time. You're dealing with 18 to 23-year-olds to be able to get them just to focus on the single task at hand. And now I want them to have lofty big goals and understand what's out there. But we cannot lose sight of just finding a way to win this next game. And so appreciative of that and appreciative of the whole program, just saying, okay, that's the mindset, that's the mantra. Look, great, we win this game, bowl eligibility. beautiful. That's just the next thing in line. But we're not using that as extra motivation to go out there and say, okay, this one gets us to here. No, we're just playing ball and seeing what hopefully the final result is. But our guys will be prepared and ready to go.
Tigers head coach Ryan Silverfield joining us here on the program. A couple of other things that I wanted to just get into your brain about a little bit. Yesterday announced Army is going to be joining the conference. From a head coaching perspective, now another team that runs a little unorthodox option offense. What do you think of that? Is it just more of a headache for you as a coach to have another one of those?
Yeah. Without sounding like Coach Speak, just trying to focus on this current game, but I did see that someone shared it with me. I don't know what all is official and all that, but look, it's obviously so much respect, as you guys know, for the military academies. They have created headaches for a lot of people throughout the years. There's a reason why nobody ever wants to play those service academies, because you're getting tough, disciplined men, and then all of a sudden now some more option to prepare for. So, maybe a little whelp went on when we saw that. And, we'll figure it out. I'll look into that in February, but right now I can't adjust it. But look, obviously we have so much respect for the military academies and all that stuff. So if it's best for our league, I just say, okay, that's left up to people other than myself, and we'll see what happens next year.
And I don't know if you'll want to comment on this at all, but I just wanted to ask you, because you are obviously a head coach. If you found out as a head coach that another coach, another team, a program was breaking the rules to scout, what do you think should be done to a program?
Yeah, I mean, look, you've seen it. This is my 25th year of coaching. I've heard of all sorts of crazy stuff occurring. There's been opponents we played this year, as we well know, that just stand there and steal signals. That's what, they sometimes they travel just to sit there and look across and steal it. Now, there's also a code of ethics, right, and doing things the right way. To send people that are video recording things, I was in the NFL when some of that stuff heard, whether it was piping and crowd noise or, people tapping into headsets. That's taking it too far. There's things that if it occurs in the play of the game and it's quote unquote legal, yeah, I'm all for it, right? That's our job as coaches to be able to handle that. And that's why you see all those gigantic tarps and people with 19 different color shirts. It looks like the Technicolor Dream Code over there with all the different colors of shirts that people wear on the sidelines to decipher and change things up, and all these cute number signs. But, I still believe in always doing things the right way and a code of ethics. So I just want a fair level of play. So whether it's everybody's got headphones in the quarterback's, helmets, or some people are, sending people to go video record and steal signals the entire time, those things don't sit comfortably with me. I just want everybody to do it the right way. And, we're not perfect, but we certainly follow the rules and do it. And it's unfortunate, because I certainly hope it didn't lead to victories for other teams simply because of an unfair advantage.
And because of your background, the whole thing with the communication in the quarterback's helmet, would you like to see college football go to that?
So, right, this is, they take coaches' votes, head coaches' votes, they ask opinions, we discuss it. And obviously, right, there's a couple things that are going on. People always say, well, Coach, what about the tablets you guys had in the NFL, right? Now I guess they can even get video or pictures on these tablets. I don't know. I know high school have them,
yes,
or if they can afford it, they can. And colleges haven't gone to that, and colleges haven't gone to the headset communication. My thing is this, right? If an FBS team is playing an FCS team, is that unfair advantage? Does that mean every team has to be able to provide it? What if you go play an away game and the communication goes down? Is that, who handles that, right? Because it's different in the NFL when you're dealing with 32 teams.
Yeah.
And, it's different when you're dealing with conference, and maybe the conferences can handle it. But when you start getting these interconference games of a variety of opponents, who's handling that? And now, is the University of Memphis now paying somebody else to take up another seat on the plane, to travel with us, to make sure these headsets work? Is it somebody on the ground? And now all of a sudden, are you dealing with more things? Is it two more people that have, so I'm always this. We want to keep adding to the game, and anything to make the game better, but are we taking away from the purity of the game and what it's truly all about? And so I'm an old school believer, and I always want to advance our game to the best of the ability. But, man, I've seen the headaches that occur sometimes in the NFL, and that's about a well-organized $16 billion, company as there is, with a lot of people helping out and making sure things go smoothly. I've been part of games at the Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium where the lights go out or we lose power on the video board. So, is that going to be on me to make sure I climb up there and make sure the headsets are working? I don't know.
That's an I had never really, because I've always been like, why don't they just do this? But you're talking about all of these different stadiums. You're talking about different levels of budget and things like that. Like in the NFL, you got 30 stadiums, and these teams all have plenty of money to have as many staff as they need to be there to make sure this stuff works. So that's an interesting way of looking at that. I really had not thought about that. It's a whole level of headaches that you guys probably don't need when it comes to that type of stuff. He is the head coach of the Memphis. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I was just going to say, look, I hear it all the time, and I'm usually in the minority. If you hear a head coach, well, we need to do this. This is what they. That's great, but who ultimately handles that? And then they don't have an answer, and they're like, well, then I understand them. So I'm all for advancing our game. I'm all for being creative. I'm not sitting here like a stick in the mud saying, no, we don't need to do this or that. But when you do things, there come repercussions, and there's got to be answers, and that's the problem is we don't have those right now. And unfortunately, like some of these things we've seen in college football, let's go put the cart before the horse. And then, 2 years from now, you'll be saying, well, hey, what happened when you guys couldn't get the communication to the quarterback? Did the tower? Yeah, the tower went down. And you'll say to me, Eli, well, Ryan, why didn't you get it fixed? Well, the guy that did it, he wasn't able to make the trip or something happened. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like I said that's see, that's why I asked the smart people who are involved, because me, I'm just the idiot. Like, why don't they do this? This seems simple. They can do it in the NFL. Just put a little speaker in the dude's helmet and talk to him. Like, then we can eliminate all these. But yeah, there's a lot more to consider when it comes to that. Coach, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck down at North Texas. We'll talk to you again next week.
Absolutely appreciate it. To all of our fans making the trip, safe travels, and appreciate you guys always having me on. Go Tigers.
Thank you. That's head coach Ryan Silverfield. See, that's again like that. I'm one of these like, this is a simple solution. Put the speaker in there, talk to the quarterback. But yeah, especially like the point you break. If you're playing an FCS team, I mean, could FCS teams afford all this stuff? Like so whose responsibility? And yes, if it goes down on one sideline, then how does this all happen? That's there's a lot to consider in college football versus NFL when it comes to that communication system between the coaches and the quarterbacks. But and he, as he said, he's not going to come out and say like whatever he believes, like Michigan should be out of the postseason. But I firmly believe, I said it yesterday, Michigan should be banned from the postseason. Like, they are blatantly cheating. There is no explanation whatsoever. Now apparently they've even got like the travel from this, and again, if you're that dumb and you're cheating, you should be punished severely for it. If you're dumb enough to have a guy on your staff buying the tickets, which are easily tracked, then you should be punished severely for it. If you can't even make a good effort to cheat, then I don't have time for it. But they are blatantly cheating. There's no possible explanation for the tickets he bought at all of these stadiums. There's no way you can explain that in any way other than, yes, it was being used to cheat, to blatantly break the NCAA rules on scouting. So, did Michigan need it to win all these games? Probably not, but they did it. And so there is that question that lingers. And to me, if I was the NCAA, as I said, I call Mr. Stallions in, say, explain all these ticket purchases. Give me one possible explanation why you bought all these tickets for all these games. Because there is no explanation. And then once he can't give you an explanation other than admitting the truth, then you say, fine, all right, you guys, no postseason this year. Sucks for you. You might be the best team in the country, but you should have been the best team in the country and abided by the rules. So we'll never know. If you go undefeated, congratulations. You're not going to the postseason. When we come back, the Tiger Football Report will take a look at the matchup between the Tigers and the Mean Green coming up Saturday afternoon in Denton, Texas, as we continue here on Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
What do you get when you have a dream, a beer, and a business plan? Meddlesome Brewing. Meddlesome's classic ales and lagers capture the true Memphis spirit. Strong, tenacious, and unforgettable. Meddlesome captures true Memphis spirit as well with community events including the Meddlesome Meandering 0.5K Saturday, November 4th with live music, event cup, and plenty of brews like Memphis Style and 201 Hoppler. Meddlesome Brewing on Trinity in Cordova, just east of Shelby Farms. On tap and can packages. Meddlesome Brewing. Never settle, always meddle.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Choate's is offering some amazing specials for this month only. If you're considering upgrading your furnace before the cold weather comes, Choate's is offering $1,000 off a new Carrier furnace. If you don't need a new furnace, Choate's is now offering its early bird $60 furnace tune-up. This 22-point tune-up includes a free carbon monoxide test and heat exchanger inspection. And Choate's is your indoor air quality expert. For the best quality air for you and your family, it's recommended to have your air ducts cleaned every 8 years. This month only, Choate's will install a free UV light system when you get your air ducts cleaned, a $500 value. Call us at 347-8086 to take advantage of these amazing deals. So, turn to the experts with Choate's, and remember, let our family serve your family.
Spencer here with ATC Fitness. There's no better time of the year than now. Football and fitness go hand in hand in the fall. And with individual screens on each piece of cardio and multiple big screens throughout the rest of the club, you'll never miss a bit of the action watching your favorite team. ATC Fitness continues to be the Mid-South's choice for fitness, family-owned for 30 years, and proud supporters of Coach Silverfield and the Memphis Tigers. Join online at atcfitness.com. ATC Fitness, exercise your right to look good.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. It seems like it's taken forever to clean up this wreck from earlier on Getwell, just south of Holmes. Now, it is crowded now coming up to South Haven on 55 northbound with all that heavy traffic flow up from DeSoto County headed towards South Memphis. It's still pretty busy also as we take a look at it live over here on 40 westbound coming in from Fayette County all the way up past Germantown Parkway. Hey, there's an adventure at every corner at the Memphis Zoo. Check out their latest calendar of events at memphiszoo.org. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, 8:29 here in the Family Leisure Studios. Eli and Zach with you. And it is time for the Tiger Football Report. It's brought to you by La Guadalupana, Bin Swinger Glass, Central Barbecue, Car Corner on Mount Moriah, Coletta's, Dave & Buster's, and Los Cabos on Summer Avenue. As we take a look at the Tigers matchup this weekend, it is the Tigers who are 5-2 on the year, 2-1 in conference play, so a chance to become bowl eligible with a victory in this one. They take on a North Texas Mean Green team that is 3-4 on the season and 1-2 in the American Athletic Conference. The game will be played at Datku Stadium in Denton. That's DATCU. They got terrible names of stadiums in Texas. North Texas is Datku, and then you've got Houston's, which is Tdeku. These credit unions down there sponsoring these stadiums got to come up with some better names. It's a 2:00 kickoff in Denton, Texas. It'll be on ESPN Plus. It's just a bunch of letters. These credit unions go with a bunch of letters. It's like Datku and Tdeku. I don't like those things.
I would gladly take an NIL from one of these credit unions.
How many letters you need me to say? I'll say it.
I'll say Datku is better than the TDECU stadium. I'll give theirs is better. At least theirs does. It's a little easier to say Datku. As Coach Silverfield mentioned, it is homecoming this weekend for North Texas. The head coach is Ryan Silverfield, that we just talked to in his fourth year, 26-18 now at Memphis. And Eric Morris is in his first year at North Texas. He was the offensive coordinator at Washington State last year. He has 3 years previously as a head coach at the FCS level. He was at Incarnate Word, but he played college football for Mike Leach. He then coached 1 year for Mike Leach before he joined Cliff Kingsbury staff. So he is a air raid disciple. That is, as Coach talked about, they're going to play fast. They will throw it a lot, although they do, again, and we'll talk about it in a little bit, they do run the ball probably more than Leach and Kingsbury like to do. Memphis looking for their second straight road win, having beaten UAB last week, 45-21. North Texas played well last week on the road. They came back from 21 down, gave themselves a chance to beat Tulane, but in the end they fell to the Green Wave, 35-28 in that one. The series, it is the 22nd meeting all-time. Memphis has dominated the series. They are 17-4 against North Texas. First meeting was in 1952. North Texas won that one 38-14. And then Memphis won the next 14 matchups, including 5 shutouts. And North Texas only got to double digits in 4 of those 14 games. Memphis just completely dominated them after losing that first matchup ever. Last year, the two teams did meet here in Memphis. Again, that was a non-conference game before North Texas joined the American this year. Tigers won that one 44-34. They have not played in Denton since 1978. However, the Tigers, they have been, again, they dominate the series, but they've been really good in Denton. They are 7-1 all-time in Denton against North Texas. Of course, the two teams met one time in a bowl game. That was back in the New Orleans Bowl. The Memphis offense, averaging 416 yards per game. That's 49th in the nation. They are 40th through the air, averaging 266 yards per game, and 73rd on the ground, averaging 149 yards rushing per game. They are top 20 in scoring. They are 20th in the nation, averaging 35.6 points per game. The quarterback, Seth Hennigan, again, a Denton native who returns home for this one and will have a ton of family and friends in attendance. 66.3% completion. That's good for 26th in the nation. 265 yards per game is 30th in the nation. He's got 15 touchdowns, which is 20th in the nation. So basically, so far this year, a top 30 quarterback is what Seth Hennigan has been if you just look at the numbers across the board. He also has 165 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. Last week, didn't have to do a whole lot. Only threw for 159 yards, 2 touchdowns, did not turn the ball over in that game against UAB. And last year against North Texas, he didn't have to do a whole lot. He threw for only 141 yards in the game last year against North Texas, 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. In that game, you may remember the Tigers had 2 defensive touchdowns, so the offense wasn't asked to do a whole lot in that victory, even though they put up the 44 points. It was a lot of that was done by the defense. In the running back department, Blake Watson, again, last week there was a lot of question marks, kind of a little bit of mystery surrounding Blake Watson and his status. Well, he played, and he played well, got his 3rd 100-yard game of the season, 125 yards on 21 carries, did pick up another touchdown. For the year now, 593 yards. He's averaging 5.8 yards per carry, 7 rushing touchdowns, 1 receiving touchdown, 29 catches for 248 yards through the air. His 120 scrimmage yards per game ties him for 13th nationally, and he still leads the American Athletic Conference in scrimmage yards per game. Sutton Smith and Brandon Thomas last week split the backup role. Smith getting 4 carries. Thomas got 5. Thomas did get the goal line opportunities, and he scored his first 2 touchdowns of the year, a couple of 2-yard touchdown runs last week for Brandon Thomas in his 2nd game of the year. In the receiving department, Rock Taylor who had 3 straight 100-yard games coming into last week, saw that streak come to an end with 4 catches for 49 yards. He still has a team-high 38 catches and 556 yards, and he does have 2 touchdowns on the year. Demir Blankenship only had 1 catch last week. He's second on the team in yardage, 363 yards on 26 catches. He is tied for the team lead in touchdowns with 3. Last week, Kobe Drake was the leading receiver, 6 catches for 51 yards, and the tight ends got in the end zone. Both Anthony Lamphere and Brendan Doyle both had touchdown catches, so the tight end getting involved last week for the Tigers in the victory at UAB. Memphis defensively, giving up 368 yards per game. That's 63rd in the nation. Passing, they give up 212 yards per game. That's 48th. Rushing, they give up 156 yards per game. That ranks them 86th in the nation against the run. They're giving up 22.7 points per game, which puts them in the top 50 in scoring defense. Third down defense, last week they held UAB to 3 for 12. They're at 27.8%, allowing opponents to convert on third down. That is 4th in the nation. They have been outstanding, really, other than the Tulane game. The Tulane game, Tulane was nearly 50%, but just about everybody else, the Tigers have done a great job on third down in getting off the field. Interestingly enough, the Tigers have 14 sacks on the year. They're spread out among 12 guys. They have nobody with more than 2 sacks. 14 sacks spread out among 12 guys. 12 total takeaways on the year, including the 4 last week. The 3 interceptions they had last week was more than they had had in total in the first 6 games. They only had 2 interceptions on the year going into last week. They picked up 3 last week. And again, last year against North Texas, again, different system, different team, all that. But the Tigers did have 2 pick sixes in their victory. Chandler Martin continues to lead the team in tackles with 54. He's been outstanding. Also leads them in tackles for loss with 6.5. Jeffrey Canton-Arku, second on the team. He's been really good as well. 38 tackles, a couple of forced fumbles for him. Simeon Blair, the Arkansas transfer, got his first interception of the year last week. Cameron Smith got a pick last week. He leads the team with 2 interceptions on the year. Now for North Texas. Coach referenced this. They lead the AAC, and they are ranked 14th in the nation in total offense. Again, this is an air raid type offense. They want to play fast, and they want to get they're trying to get up and down the field quickly. 470 yards per game they average, 290 through the air, 179, 180 basically on the ground, and they average 34.6 points per game. That's 25th in scoring. Their quarterback is number 4, Chandler Rogers, transfer from Louisiana Monroe, completing 65% of his passes, 1,762 yards, and this is the impressive number, 14 touchdowns, 1 interception. He has the second longest active streak in FBS with 215 straight passes without throwing an interception. And he can run the ball a little bit. He's got 153 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. But last year at Louisiana Monroe ran for nearly 500 yards. So he can, when needed, get out of the pocket and scramble as well. Their running backs, at number 5 and number 27, will split the carries fairly evenly. Number 5 is Ayo Adehi, 71 carries, 507 yards, a 7.1 yard per carry average. That leads the American Athletic Conference. He's got 4 touchdowns on the year. Last year against Memphis, they did see him. He had 6 carries for 30 yards. Number 27 is Oscar Attaway. 60 carries for him on the year, 260 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also played against the Tigers last year, had 12 carries for 46 yards. The one thing they don't really do is throw to their running backs. The 2 of them have a combined 8 catches on the season. So generally, they're handing it off to them, and if they're throwing it to the receivers. Speaking of those receivers, mention this guy, Jamori Macklin, number 9. This is a guy to watch. As Coach said, he is the cousin to former NFL receiver, Jeremy Maclin. This Maclin, like Jeremy, started his career at Mizzou, but then transferred to North Texas. On the year, 33 catches, 658 yards, 9 touchdowns. He leads the conference in yards, touchdowns, and yards per catch. He's tied for 4th in the nation in touchdowns, and he's the only player in the nation to have caught a touchdown pass in every game they have played. Last year, he averaged over 24 yards per catch. And against Memphis, he had 3 catches for 81 yards, including a 41-yard touchdown. He is a big play receiver, no doubt about it. And the Tigers, again, had some problems with him last year in big plays. And chance for the Tigers to become the first team to hold him without a touchdown reception this season. Number 2, Roderick Burns. He's led North Texas in receiving yards each of the last 2 years. He's at nearly 2,000 yards for his career. So he's a good one as well. 31 catches, 329 yards, and a touchdown for him. Number 8 is Damon Ward. 19 catches, 250 yards. He's got 4 touchdowns on the year. So that's second to Maclin. So those are the guys from the receivers. Number 9, number 2, number 8. But number 9 is the guy you really want to pay attention to, and the Tigers really want to pay attention to. Defensively for North Texas, much like UAB last week, it's not good. 128th in overall defense. They give up 458 yards per game. And they are last in the country against the run. We talked about last week how bad UAB's defense was against the run. Not even close to as bad as North Texas. North Texas gives up 255 yards on the ground per game. The next worst in the country is at about 227 yards. So they're 28 yards worse than anybody else in the country when it comes to run defense. They are 41st against the pass. They give up 203 yards per game. Not sure if that's because they're good against the pass or better against the pass, or just teams don't ever have to throw against them because you can just run it on them easily. They give up 35 points per game. That's 126th in the nation. They only have 9 sacks on the year. That's 123rd. They only have 26 tackles for loss. That's 130th in the nation. There really is not a single redeeming quality about North Texas' defense. They are just bad. The guys to watch. Their middle linebacker is number 19, Jordan Brown. He leads them in tackles with 56. He's had over 10 tackles in each of the last 3 games. Defensive end, number 44, Mason Richards. 5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks. He was a first-team All-CUSA player last year. Their safety, number 0, Phil Hill. He's got a couple of interceptions on the year. And then their cornerback, number 5, Ridge Texada. He was tied for 5th last year in the nation in passes defended. He was a first-team All-American Conference pick in the preseason this year by Phil Steele, among some other publications as well. So they do have a good corner, pretty decent safety, and they got 1 defensive end who can get after. That's probably why they're certainly better against the pass. But again, they are absolutely dreadful against the run at 255 yards per game. They are good in special teams. Number 1, Kalen Horton. 2 kickoff returns for touchdown and 1 punt return touchdown in his career. He doesn't always return punts, but he generally returns kickoffs. You have to be careful with him. And on the other side, they are number 1 in the nation in kickoff coverage. They barely allow any returns. Their kicker generally gets touchbacks, but even when they do allow returns, they don't give up much. Number 1 in the nation in kickoff coverage, and they are also top 10 in punt coverage. So they are very good in special teams. One thing you won't see in this game, or shouldn't see, many penalties. North Texas, 5th in the nation. Memphis, 13th in the nation in the fewest penalties per game. So you should not see a whole lot of penalty flags thrown in this one between these 2 teams. Memphis is a 7.5-point favorite currently, and the over-under, again, no surprise here, they expect some points to be scored in this one. The over-under sitting at 68.5. The Tiger Football Report brought to you by Los Cabos on Summer Avenue, Dave & Buster's, Car Corner on Mount Moriah, Coletta's, Central Barbecue, Binswanger Glass, and La Guadalupana. Again, the Tigers, North Texas, Saturday afternoon, 2 o'clock in Denton, Texas, and it'll be on ESPN+. And that is your Tiger football report. Your look at the matchup for the Tigers this week with North Texas. When we come back, a couple of NFL notes, and we'll recap some of the stuff that happened last night as you're listening to Sports 56 Mornings here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Sports and blinds, they just go together. And right now, all Sports 56 listeners get $50 off any order at Blinds Etc. South. Real wood, 3.5 to 4.5 inch plantation shutters made in the Mid-South are always affordable at Blinds Etc. South. And now get $50 off your order. Get your free in-home consultation at 901-681-0225 or go to blindsetcetera.southllc.com. Upgrade your home with custom-made plantation shutters and window treatments from Blinds Etc. South.
I feel good shopping at DriveMax, you get value.
Need a car that screams I feel good? DriveMax has it all. From cars to SUVs, find a tightly inspected used car that'll have you dancing all the way home. Call 901-664-2424 or visit DriveMaxApproval.com.
DriveMax, I got approved.
Memphis' oldest restaurant, Coletta's, was established in 1923 to give Memphians the best Italian food possible. And I'd say they got it right. They are the creators of the barbecue pizza. It was Elvis's favorite, and I know for a fact that a large will feed one person all weekend. If you need to feed several, though, Coletta's caters any event. Choose from homemade lasagna, ravioli, Alfredo, primavera, and so many other delicious items you can't help but enjoy. Impress employees or clients and treat them to Coletta's for lunch or dinner. Plan ahead and get your holiday party booked at Coletta's. Elvis's favorite place to go eat with his buddies at the South Parkway location, and Coletta's even has an Elvis room dedicated to him. Call Coletta's on South Parkway at 948-7652 or Appling Road at 383-1122. Coletta's. It was Elvis's favorite, and it should be yours too.
Go where the season takes you, and it'll take you to huge savings at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Be packed with power in 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage G4. 37 MPG combined, $18,755 or $199 a month. Ready for adventure? 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. $25,595 or $299 a month. Plus 7 seating and top safety pick 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander SUV. $32,185 or $399 a month. And every new Gossett Mitsubishi is equipped with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You want it, we Gossett. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 84 months, 500 military rebate, loyalty conquest rebate 500, G4, RHFO 1918, MSRP 19255, Sport, PU 015 137, MSRP 26595, Outlander RZ 006545, MSRP 33185, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit, dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Genuine diamonds, baby.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Back here in the Family Leisure Studios, 8:51 the time. Week 8 of the NFL season kicks off tonight with the Buffalo Bills hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bills nearly a double-digit favorite, -9.5. We'll have that game for you here on Sports 56, beginning at 7 o'clock with the pregame. In the NFL, a couple of notes. Brock Purdy into concussion protocol. Started showing some symptoms on the flight home after the game on Monday night. He goes into concussion protocol looking like Sam Darnold could get the start for the 49ers when they take on the Bengals on Sunday. And then Deshaun Watson, out again. P.J. Walker. Such a bizarre situation going on with Deshaun Watson. Like, it is a very, very weird case. Like, they act like he's cleared to play. He doesn't play. I don't know. When he does play, he doesn't play well anyway. So I don't know what to think there. But Kevin Stefanski saying that Deshaun Watson out this week. P.J. Walker, once again, will get the start for the Cleveland Browns. Of course, again, if you missed it last night, the Grizzlies, their season opener did not go the way they had hoped, as they lose 111-104 to the Pelicans. Grizzlies go just 12 for 43 from three-point range, get out-rebounded 52-37. Desmond Bain did have a good night, 31 points for him, 5 of 10 from three-point range. Xavier Tillman, a double-double, 17 and 12. But again, the inability to knock down shots, especially those threes, haunts the Grizzlies in their opener. They get set to take on the defending champion Nuggets tomorrow night at FedEx Forum. And again, 6 o'clock start time tomorrow. One other thing I'll remind you of. Listen up, folks. I watched this unfold last night. The FedEx Forum now has a clear bag policy.
Yes.
You cannot bring in a purse, ladies, that is not clear. And there are size limitations on even the clear bag that you can bring in. So I recommend you go to their website, check out their clear bag policy and exactly what you can and can't bring in. But remember this, there is a clear bag policy. You walk up carrying your purse, your normal purse, they're going to tell you, you can't bring that in.
That's correct.
It's
just that simple.
I watched, and there's even a little confusion on some other stuff, but the bottom line is just bring a clear bag. If you want to bring a bag, make sure it's clear. That's the policy. And for Tigers games, it's going to be the same thing, folks. So if you Tigers fans out there, remember that as well. When you're going down to games, clear bag policy. Any event at FedEx Forum now, if you want to bring a bag in, it's got to be clear. And again, there's only up to a certain size that you can bring in, even with the clear bags. So you need to check that out.
So can a clear shopping bag, will that do?
Too big.
Too big?
Too big.
But what if it fits the parameters?
Well, I guess I don't know. If it's a clear bag and it's within their size perimeters, by golly, I guess you're okay. I don't bring a bag, so I don't have to worry about it. But I saw a lot of women getting turned away last night. Had to go put the things back in the car. Again, and they're on the sign. It says like you can bring a wallet in of certain size. Now, I saw some people with something that looked like that would be okay, but they were still saying no to those people. So I don't know. My recommendation, bring a clear bag. Just go the clear route. That is the way to go in the Grizzlies with the home game again tomorrow night. In the NBA, going back to the East versus West for the All-Star game this year. In baseball, World Series starts tomorrow night, but Dusty Baker announcing his retirement. So the Houston Astros now will be looking for a new manager. Well, it is that time. It's breakfast time. A lot of folks out there maybe trying to get their day started with a good breakfast. Well, you can get a delicious, great breakfast over at Sunrise. 2 locations, The Original at 670 Jefferson Avenue and Sunrise East on Poplar Avenue. Go by, try any of those great biscuit sandwiches. I talk about the P-Love. It's my favorite. You can't beat it. The fried bologna, egg, cheese on one of their homemade biscuits, those big square biscuits they have at Sunrise. Absolutely delicious. Man, one of their bowls, maybe the kitchen sink, the Three Amigos tacos. Of course, for lunch, great lunch menu as well. Sandwiches and salads to choose from on that lunch menu that are absolutely delicious as well. If you're a Bloody Mary person, they've got a massive selection of Bloody Marys, of course, mimosas, or you can have a beer as well. Whatever you're looking for with your brunch over there at Sunrise, they'll take good care of you. Sunrise901.com is the website. You can order online for pickup. Again, 670 Jefferson Avenue, the Original. Sunrise East in East Memphis. They open up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Breakfast and lunch. It is Sunrise. Hour number 3 coming up. It is the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. Harold Grader will be here. We'll have our pick 6, giving somebody an opportunity to win some free barbecue. That comes your way next here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does with your favorite mixer. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff. Just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
If you want a deal, get to Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike, because we've got Jeep Adventure Days and Ram Power Days still going strong. If you're looking to save up to $12,000 off a new ride, we Gossett covered. Right now, take your pick. 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee L Summit 4-wheel drive or 2023 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon 4x4, $12,000 off MSRP. And 2023 Wagoneer L Series 111 4x4, $10,000 off MSRP. And if we don't have what you're looking for, Gossett can order it today. So drive past the rest and come to the best at Gossett on the Pike, or shop online at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Wagoneer PS5 64,158, MSRP 117,430. Cherokee P88 76 88.9, MSRP 80,205. Gladiator PL 509,834, MSRP 68,815. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry, and they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Bartlett Small Engine has free pickup and delivery both at your home and curbside for lawnmowers, blowers, edgers, and any small engine. Call 901-386-9779. Jenkins Floors and More in Hernando is growing. This family business started up 5 years ago with just one pallet, and now they have hundreds. Tim, the owner, gets calls from people everywhere and can sometimes save them up to 50% on wood flooring, carpet, tile, and vinyl. Jenkins Floors and More helps with renovations, home building, and installation. Jenkins Floors and More, number 6 East Commerce Street in Hernando. Also in Little Rock and coming soon to Tennessee. Call 662-469-9350 for more information.
Hey everybody, Chevy truck season, it's here. And if you're ready for a new Silverado, All-Star Chevrolet, right here in Olive Branch has deals that are spot on to save you money. And let's be real, your good credit deserves it. Financing as low as $0. No payment for 90 days. That could be next year. Plus, you get $1,000 in cash, and All-Star has all the Silverados. Fall road trips, tailgating, Thanksgiving, Christmas, timing could not be better. So come to Olive Branch and drive a new Tahoe or Traverse. And if it's a certified pre-owned Chevy or any pre-owned you want, All-Star is loaded up. Camaro convertibles, Suburbans, Lexuses. If it's not here, just ask Jeff and he will find it for you. And Jeff and Kevin told me to thank all of you who are bringing your cars and trucks here to sell. You could get a check today for some crazy good money. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah or Bartlett or Carterville. It's got to be Olive Branch, people. So find new roads to All-Star Chevy today or go to allstarautogroup.com.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. I still see some traffic volumes coming in from Fayette County right now on 40 westbound as you make your way past 269. Sometimes it's still a little bit busy over here on 40 west at Sycamore View Road as you get on that flyover there at 240. Some of that traffic is getting off onto Sam Cooper. They were moving a stalled vehicle a few minutes ago in the construction zone on 55 southbound just before you get to Crump. Hey, if you ever get hurt in a car crash, call 901 Attorneys right here in Memphis. They're online. Check them out at 901attorneys.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings. This hour brought to you by Acura of Memphis. It's time now for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. Here are your hosts, Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Harold Grader.
Welcome back here in the Family Leisure Studios. It's 9:01. Eli is here. Greg is not. Zach is here. Harold Grader is here. We'll get to him in just a moment. We're live in the Family Leisure Studio, where family and fun come together. Select patio sets up to 50% off. Play gyms under $2,000. Pool tables, game room items up to $700 off. In-stock items. It's all at Family Leisure at 2120 Whitten Road. Another beautiful day on tap. Sunshine, temperatures in the low 80s. Might get some rain later tonight, which we have not had in a long, long time. But nonetheless, we might get some rain overnight tonight. This is the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. We do it each and every Thursday as our buddy Harold Grader joins us here in studio. Missed you last week in studio, but good to have you back this week.
Yes. Last week was fun. Glad to be back here. Sorry we're missing Greg today.
Yeah. You scared him off.
Apparently so. Or something. Well, you're telling me Greg's a little under the weather? Greg, if you're listening, hope you're up and at him by the end of the day.
So last week,
yes,
you were down in Tuscaloosa.
Yes.
And watching that game between Alabama and Tennessee, which certainly was the tale of two halves, as Tennessee looked really good in the first half. Alabama couldn't do much. And then suddenly after halftime, it was all Alabama. What was it like being amongst the Alabama fans as that thing unfolded?
It was really interesting, Eli. You know, the first half, it was one of those, boy, here we go again. What's wrong with this football team? Why do they continue to make the same mistakes, give up the same type of plays both on offense and defense? Thought we had gotten past this point, and pretty gloomy, and rightfully so. And credit to Tennessee the way they came out and played. And you come out at the second half, not really knowing what to expect. Is it going to be more of the same, or is it going to be as Alabama has shown earlier in the season and in recent weeks? They come out in the second half, and they literally are like a different football team. And, Charlie Strong, one of the analysts on Saban's staff, was here Monday night with the Touchdown Club, and I asked him about that, and it wasn't any secret sauce of anything that the coaches did particularly, but he really pointed to the players, and the players put it on themselves to rally around. And again, at the end of the day, that's really what it's about. The players have got to believe, hey, we can turn this around, we can play, we know what went wrong, and let's get that fixed, and let's focus on winning. And boy, that's what happened. And they came back with a big third quarter offensively. And again, the defense played very, very well for Alabama, especially in that second half. So, Alabama, the Alabama faithful still clinging to the hope that there's still a potential playoff spot there for them. But first things first, you got LSU. You got to win the West. They know what's in front of them, and that is if they are going to have a shot at the big prize, that is the standard at Alabama. Yep. They got to win out. They know that. That's what's in front of them. Can they do that? I'm not so sure of that, but the LSU game will obviously be huge in that equation.
It's funny that you talk about that because in the first half, kind of the thing is like, oh gosh, here we go again. Like, and what's wrong with this football team? When again, they're undefeated in SEC play.
Yeah.
Still it's not pretty, and it doesn't look like what it has maybe in past years at Alabama. But in the end, they're undefeated in the SEC. They've only got one loss. And yes, if they continue to win, they still have a chance to be playing for the in the playoff.
And Eli, that's what good football teams do. They find a way to win. The days of just rolling the ball out there and winning with, I don't want to say relative ease, but great confidence, know that, hey, we're going to win this game. We just got to figure out, what's the final score going to be? Those days are over, at least for this season. They got to go. They got to compete. They got to play at a high level. And they've got to figure out a way, if they're going to have a real shot at the big prize, they've got to figure out a way to play a 60-minute football game, because you can't do, I don't think you can play as they played against Tennessee and some previous games where you only play half a football game. I don't think that's going to work against a team like LSU. No. Or even more importantly, if they can get there, Georgia in the SEC championship game.
So then I see all these pictures of you with your victory cigar, because you're an Alabama dad. So
I'm an Alabama dad, and let's preface that.
You're an Alabama dad. So
yes.
You got. First of all, how did the whole victory cigar thing get started in that rivalry?
I don't know the backstory, Eli, and our daughter's freshman year, of course, 2 years ago, Tennessee at Alabama, we had no clue. In the last few minutes of the ball game, people are pulling out cigars, they're lighting them up. We're like, what the heck is this all about? We're Tiger people. We're Memphis people. Had no idea. So I learned, came prepared for this one, and wasn't so sure they were going to be needed. And I waited until literally about 2 minutes to go in the game before I pulled them out. I mean, other Alabama people sitting around our seats were whipping them out. They were confident, and I guess it was after maybe the return for the touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
That's when
the one that covered the spread.
That's when
they played that covered the spread.
Some of the Tennessee folks started heading for the door, and I'm thinking, there's a lot of time left in this game. Not so sure. So they started lighting them up 4 or 5 minutes to go. I waited till a couple of minutes because I'm like, I've seen this before with this Alabama team, and I've seen it with Tennessee. More importantly, hey, if they get it going, they can tie this thing up and make it a ball game again. But it was fun to participate, be a part of that. It's one of those great traditions. I don't know the backstory. I'm sure it goes back decades of.
Yeah, like who was the first? I don't know. If anybody out there, like, what is
I'm sure I could Google
what's the history of that? Who started it with the victory cigar in that rivalry?
But it was fun. Again, as I've said on this show and to friends, off the air, on the air, is at number one, I'm a college football fan. I enjoy that environment, whether it's Tuscaloosa, Neyland, whatever stadium you want to talk about. There's nothing like being at the game. There's nothing like college football. And to be able to be a part of that tradition at a storied program like Alabama was fun. And, what I thought, and I'm one of those, I like to get to the games early and I like to stay till it's all over. Mm-hmm. And it was interesting and fun for the fans that did linger because the team went in to the locker room. They went in to get their cigars, and they came back out. And Coach Saban, when he was finished with his network television interview, his normal practice is to go to the locker room. Yeah. I think the and I don't recall who the sideline reporter was who did the post game, gave him a cigar. And, he doesn't smoke. He chewed on them, said, I'll chew on it. But he went down to the student section at the far end of the stadium, waved at the crowd, thanked the crowd. And that shows you if your impression of Nick Saban is he's this stoic, all business. Now, he does get fired up and gets emotional and chews on folks. But it showed you a human side of him, how important beating Tennessee is to him and that program. And I think just looking at the fans, longtime Alabama fans, they're around post game. I'm looking around. And I said, I've never seen him do that, and they're like, us either. So again, just another little insight into what he is and maybe how he's trying to enjoy success now, maybe unlike he did in earlier years. But that was big. That was big for them, and obviously after getting clocked last year, there at the end of the game. This was one they had circled, and it was a sweet win for Tennessee and for Alabama, and for Tennessee. I know there were some questionable calls in that game. That's going to happen in any game, And I grew up in the Jack Eaton era where the referees are always against you.
Yes.
So I get that mentality and that fan approach, but. A call here, a call there. That's what wins and loses games anyway. It's just part of it. But again, just that whole atmosphere, that whole scene was interesting and enjoyable to take all of that in.
Yeah, there were some bad calls, no doubt.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't score a point in the second half.
Yeah.
That in the end is where the game was lost. You did score a point in the second half. Now, another team you care about is the Memphis Tigers. They had a similar game, only they were the ones that turned it around at halftime. Now, they weren't down at halftime. They were tied, but in the second half, a completely different half of football for them. And, they get a road win, which is, they got Ryan Silverfield. It has not been easy to win on the road for this team under him. This week, they try to make it 2 straight road wins against North Texas. And again, a team with, as he talked about when he would join me a little bit earlier, everything, as he said, the goal at the beginning is to win your conference. That's
absolutely
win your conference. And that goal is still sitting right there in front of them.
Yes,
if they win out, they're probably going to be in the conference championship game. They still need some help because they don't play UTSA. But if you win out, you've got a great chance to get yourself into the conference championship game. But I know a lot of people will look at last week's game. The people that don't like Ryan Silverfield will look at last week and say, well, the first half, that's a terrible football team, and we got completely outgained by them.
Yeah.
And they don't care about the second half. It's hard on this schedule him to find wins that are going to satisfy people. So to try and satisfy people, he's basically got to get into the conference championship game and probably has to win the conference championship game.
To satisfy the naysayers, but not necessarily to save his job.
No, yes, absolutely.
And of course, that's rolling around in the community. Let's don't hide that fact that folks are saying, well, I'm not sure he's the right guy anymore. And I say that through the prism of Ryan as a friend. I'm a supporter, believe in the program. Obviously, last year was a disappointment. He knows that. We've talked about it all year long. But the schedule is the schedule. And I don't care whether you're in the American, the Sun Belt, the SEC, or no matter what conference, coaches will tell you and have forever, winning on the road in any sport, any stadium, any environment, any level is hard. And especially now with the transfer portal and, and talking to folks about, the SEC, what's going on in the SEC? What's up with Georgia? They're not blowing people away and dominating like they had. Coaches point to the transfer portal. It has
dispersed the talent.
It has evened the field. So, I mean, as far as the Tigers and Coach Silverfield, if you're going to criticize winning a game because of who the opponent is, that's nonsense, folks. I mean, the schedule is the schedule. Mm-hmm. Especially when it's a conference game. You play what they put on the schedule for you. So the Tigers are sitting there now in the American. Tulane's, this is conference record. Tulane 3-0, SMU 3-0, San Antonio 3-0. The Tigers are sitting there with 2 other teams, a game back, 2-1. It's Memphis Rice and Florida Atlantic. Now, you look at the Tigers' schedule. Yes, playing on the road is hard, but this week you would think is, and I kind of look at this as a fan, as well as trying to be as objective about it as I can be, is this is a winnable game.
Yeah, should be.
Is a game they should win.
I mean, they're favored by over a touchdown.
North Texas is 3-4. Next week, you're home. South Florida, team that's 4-4, should win at home. Then they're at Charlotte, a team that's 2-5.
Should win.
Road game, should win. Then, just as I spoke about Alabama, knowing that LSU is probably their critical game, their critical game for Memphis, again, assuming they win the next 3, and they should, and that's the expectation, you have SMU. That one's going to say yay or nay on are you going to have a chance? Again, depending on what some other you got to have some other pieces move around for them. And then they close out the season on the road at Temple, another game they should win.
Legitimately one of the worst teams in the country.
Much like Alabama, the Tigers have got to win out if they're going to have a shot at playing for their conference championship. It's interesting that those two teams are, yes, at different levels, but similar scenarios for their seasons as they have played out and where they are now heading into last weekend of October and heading into the final month of November.
Your thoughts, we've talked about it because it's been kind of in the works, but your thoughts on the addition of Army to the American Athletic Conference?
I know a lot of folks don't see the value in that, and
I am one of them.
I know you're one of them, and you and I have talked about this both on and off the air about the value that they bring. And Eli, I haven't had a chance to talk to Dr. Hargrave about it or anybody in the conference, but I try to step away. And when you look at decisions like this, it's yes, they're coming in as a football only, so it is a football decision, but it's also a league-wide decision because let's face it, I think in the minds and the approach that the conference took is we lost SMU, high academic school reputation and all that stuff. Army is replacing SMU. So from a value to the conference, the academic piece of it, the prestige of it, all of that, I think all that rolls around into why would the American want Army? From a sports perspective and from a football perspective, from a coaching perspective, it's like, holy cow, here we go. Well, we hate playing Army. We hate playing those types of teams because
now you got to play 2 of them.
Now you got 2 of them. I get I get it. I get it. And I hope fans will embrace it ultimately. I have never had the opportunity to go to West Point for a game.
Yeah, I would love to go.
I've been to Annapolis once, and it was a rainy day, and I didn't get a chance to tour the campus. But it is special, and again, everybody is clawing and scrapping for survival and trying to enhance their product the best they can. Obviously, there's a nuance to this with the Army-Navy game. Yes, they're in the same conference. No, it won't be a conference game. But that's just, again, in this world we're in where you got people scattered all over the country now. Geography really doesn't matter anymore because you're going to hop on a plane anyway. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. When I say them, I mean the conference, the leadership. That's the presidents and the chancellors and the commish about doing what they've got to do and giving them the benefit of the doubt that this is a good thing for the American. We shall see. I would think it is. We'll see.
Yeah. So obviously, again, it's Army. Like there is no doubt. Like it's one of our military academies. Like that's so. It's weird to me, and to me, I would have just gone for the best football program I could get. But I wouldn't have wanted just a football only because now you're going to have an odd number in the other sports, which I think is a little bit weird when it comes to that. And I just think there were better programs. Now, maybe they went and talked to some of those, and they were told they didn't want to come in. I would be really surprised if that was the case from some of these Conference USA schools would say no to the American.
Right.
I mean, there's a reason all the other ones came. Like the American is a step up from Conference USA and
Sure.
some of these other conferences. But it is what it is. And I asked Ryan Sutterfield about it. He said, he talked about he hadn't really had a chance to he barely even heard about it.
Yeah.
But he said, bottom line, from a coaching perspective, like, really, now another one of those in the conference that we have to try and prepare for? That's not fun.
Right. Right.
And then the Army-Navy game, the weirdness of that game being played after the conference championship game and not being a conference game and all that stuff is. Yeah. But that's not as ridiculous as Washington State and Oregon State saying they're going to have a 2-team conference.
Right.
I mean, there are more ridiculous things in this world we live in right now. We've got literally what is planning on being a 2-team conference next year. I don't even know what that means to be a 2-team conference, but nonetheless, that is where we stand as far as that is concerned. When we come back, we've got our pick 6. Last week, by the way, UTJ, I took him down.
How about that?
No barbecue for Jay.
Jay, I'm sorry.
His Tennessee team, his Tennessee team let him down in that second half. That was his best bet. He got killed by the second half of his Tennessee team.
Well, Jay, if Eli, and he's you are a more magnanimous person than our friend Greg. I'll say that. But if you were, if you were an even more magnanimous in light of the heartbreaking loss in Tuscaloosa last week, you would succumb and give UTJ some solace and some barbecue to heal his wounds.
No.
CJ, if it was me, because I'm for the people. I'm for the people. I'm for guys like you. What's barbecue? I mean, Eli is the king of his realm here at
all
Sports
Tennessee
56.
had to do was not give
We're
up
talking about some barbecue.
If they would, all they had to do was not give up the scoop and score, and they would have covered the spread.
I understand.
I don't even know if that would have let him beat me or not, because I also had Tennessee, but that was his best bet. So I think he might have tied me if that would happen. I don't remember for sure. But nonetheless, we've got a chance today for somebody to take a swing and try and win some free barbecue. That's $25 at Central Barbecue. We will take caller number 2. 360-8255. 360-8255. Caller number 2 will get a chance to go head-to-head with one of us for a chance to win some barbecue. Again, $25 in piggy bucks from Central Barbecue on the line. Caller number 2, 360-8255. If you have participated, even if you've lost like UTJ did, if you've participated, you are not eligible to participate again. We need a new contestant with a chance to win that barbecue from Central Barbecue. This hour of our program brought to you by Acura of Memphis. They're located on Ridgeway right there at 385. Online, AcuraMemphis.com. Go by, take a test drive. Another beautiful day to go take a test drive in one of those beautiful automobiles at Acura Memphis. New vehicles, pre-owned vehicles, certified pre-owned Acuras. You'll find them all at Acura of Memphis. Back with our pick 6 right after this. Sports 56 mornings, the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, Jimmy Stovall here with Corky's Barbecue. Catering has been our specialty for almost 40 years. Corky's makes it easy for you to impress your guests at parties, family reunions, weddings, or just treating your hardworking employees to a great meal to say thank you. Let us do all the work and you take all the credit. We will come to your location, set up and serve your hungry guests an all-you-can-eat barbecue buffet starting at only $9.99 per person.
There's an institution in East Memphis that I love talking about. It's the Spirit Shop at 4848 Poplar Avenue, right down the street from Clark Tower, and it looks like a log cabin. It's been around Memphis since 1969 with a family-owned, friendly, knowledgeable sales staff that is just a wonderful place to go. I love going in and talking wine or bourbons, and they've got such great selection. So if you've not visited the Spirit Shop in a while, it's been remodeled. You'll love what you see when you need spirits. Tell Eddie Wolo said hello.
How's Wingstop sound? Crispy, juicy, classic wings. Made to order, cooked to perfection. and sauced and tossed in those 11 soul-satisfying flavors. Paired with hand-cut seasoned fries, house-made honey mustard, blue cheese, or signature Wingstop ranch. And of course, spicy Cajun fried corn. I think you've heard enough. Get your flavor delivered at Wingstop.com.
The Shelby County Sheriff's Office is looking for people just like you to answer the call and start your career as a corrections deputy. If you have a high school diploma and our community is your calling, visit scsocareers.com today.
They call us Big Shelby. We're one of the highest paid in the region.
You don't have to have a degree.
The pay here is wonderful. The benefits are wonderful.
I'm really financially stable. I'm able to do everything that I want to do.
Yes, I feel very appreciated.
Are you up to the challenge? Visit scsocareers.com today.
Response to the all-new Genesis Diamonds has been incredible. People are loving what we've brought to Memphis. Genesis is a different kind of jewelry store with more jewelry than you've ever seen in one place at prices you never thought possible. What people really love about Genesis is the transparency, the education. Genesis is revealing all the long-held secrets of the diamond industry. We'll teach you how to buy like a dealer buys, how to understand the ways diamonds are priced by the wholesalers, how slight variations in size and clarity can translate into thousands in savings passed along to you. At Genesis, our non-commissioned diamond experts are here to guide you every step of the way. Our diamond education will make you a better, more informed consumer. Even if you don't buy from us, we'll make you a more dangerous shopper when you visit other places. Discover the Genesis difference, forever changing how people in Memphis buy diamonds and fine jewelry. Now open at Poplar and Perkins, the official jeweler of the Tennessee Titans.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings. This hour brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Now, more of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. Here are your hosts, Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Harold Grader.
Welcome back here, 927 in the Family Leisure Studios. Eli Savoy, Harold Grader with you. Zach Boyd is here. Greg out today. Hopefully he'll be back on the program tomorrow. It is time for our Pick Six. Again, last week, and I don't have all the results from last week. All I know is that I took down UTJ. Greg did not give me all the information. I just know I beat UTJ, which is really all that matters to me.
You are ruthless.
Well, it's
ruthless.
It's only Jay. Jay's a
okay.
trash talker. Like he likes to. I just had to. I like to poke a little fun at UTJ. It's a little fun. This week, our contestant, who is caller number 2 and has gotten in, is Edward. Good morning, Edward. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing fine.
Happy to have you as our contestant. Again, you've got a chance to win $25 in piggy bucks from Central Barbecue. All you have to do is tie or beat whoever you go head-to-head with. So that is the first question. Who do you want to go head-to-head against? Harold, me, or Greg?
Eli.
All right, you're going to go against me.
All right, Edward. Enjoy the barbecue, Edward.
Edward doesn't think I can do it 2 weeks in a row. See, that's the key. He doesn't think I can do it 2 weeks in a row. So here we go. Our first game of the week is, can we still, I don't think we can call it the cocktail party anymore.
Sure,
we're going to call it the cocktail party.
Sure we can.
The Georgia Bulldogs, no Brock Bowers. They take on the Florida Gators, of course, down in Jacksonville. The Georgia Bulldogs are a 14 and the hook point favorite against the Gators. Harold.
Well, despite the fact that they don't have Brock Bowers, I think Carson Beck is going to be effective anyway. Georgia is going to win their third straight cocktail party. I'm going to take the Bulldogs.
This is a 14 and it is weird because, I mean, they haven't been that impressive in most of their games.
Right.
And some of those games, like, it's literally been Brock Bowers, like, that is, like, the Auburn game, he's kind of rescued them. So you're like, what are they without Brock Bowers? I don't know. The dude is unbelievably good. But Florida's not very good. 14 and I'm going to take Georgia to just get over that 14.5 number, win it by like 17. Greg's taking Georgia as well. And Edward, who are you going with?
Florida in the points.
Taking Florida. All right. So
can't blame you for that.
We differ right off the bat here on that one. Game number 2, the Oregon Ducks. Bo Nix and company. They're traveling to Utah, who continues to play without Cam Rising, but continues to play well. Oregon, a 7-point favorite on the road at Utah. Listen, I like what Utah continues to do. That program, he does an unbelievable job there. And even without Cam Rising, they still win games. I just think Oregon is too explosive and too much firepower offensively. And Oregon knows they have to win out now. They want to get that rematch with Washington in the conference championship game. I'm taking the Ducks in this one. Greg goes with Utah. Edward, who are you going with?
I can't believe I'm doing this. Oregon.
Edward, is there a story there?
I usually disagree with Eli with a bunch of picks, but
well,
I'm agreeing this time.
That's a long list of people that usually disagree with Eli, I can tell you.
All right, Harold.
All right, both teams coming off big wins.
Mm-hmm.
I like what Bo Nix has become at Oregon. Happy for the success that young man is having. I'm kind of like you, Edward. I can't believe I'm doing this because I'm a big believer in Kyle Whittingham and that Utah program, especially at home, getting points. Give me the Ducks.
All right, so three of us.
I may regret that one. I don't know.
Greg is going with the Utes. Next up, the Tennessee Volunteers. You saw them in person last week. A great first half, terrible second half. This week, they travel to Lexington to take on Kentucky. Tennessee, a 3.5-point favorite on the road in this one. Greg takes Tennessee. Edward, who do you take?
Kentucky.
Ooh. Harold?
Very much like the Utah game. You have Kentucky at home. Love Mark Stoops. Love what he's done up there. Usually a really, really tough football team, but they've lost their last two coming off a bye week. As I said in the game before, I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm going to take Tennessee with the home team losing.
Yeah, Kentucky, the bye week certainly big for them.
Yeah.
Tennessee coming off a weird game, a weird way to lose a game. You kind of wonder, try to bounce back. Kentucky looked good early in the year. They kind of had a little bit of a rude awakening in the last couple. I still don't even know what to make of Tennessee either with Joe Milton. Like, they can look really good at times, and then other times they can look like they did in the second half last week. It comes down to running the football so much with them, and Kentucky does have a good run defense on the year. 3.5. I'm going to take Tennessee. Don't feel great about it, but I'm going to take Tennessee. So, Edward,
Eli, you actually trust Milton?
I don't. But I don't trust Leary either. Like, I don't trust Kentucky's offense at all right now.
Yeah.
Because I wonder if they can't run the ball. It comes down to if neither team can run the ball. Which one of these quarterbacks? I don't trust either one of them, really, to be honest with you. So I'm thinking Tennessee might be able to get the running game going better than what Kentucky can. Next up, out west, Colorado at UCLA. Colorado getting 17 points.
Yep.
You had Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter at the Nuggets game the other night. The Buffaloes getting 17 from Chip Kelly and company. Edward, who you got?
UCLA's favorite, right?
Yep, minus 17.
And UCLA's defense is halfway decent.
Halfway. Colorado's is not. Colorado's defense is not even halfway decent, but their offense is decent.
I'm taking UCLA.
Harold?
Yeah, I think UCLA is certainly a better football team than Colorado. But the question obviously is, are they 17 points better or 18 points better to cover that?
What, Stanford?
Yeah.
Stanford's, well, yeah.
I'm going to say reluctantly, yes, UCLA is 17 points better than Colorado.
Yeah, you could look. UCLA last week hammered Stanford. Of course, we know what happened with Stanford, Colorado in that bizarre.
Yeah.
Speaking of tale of two halves type game, from 29-0 to losing in double overtime. I'm going to take Colorado here. I'm going to think that they can score enough points with their offense to at least keep it within 17. Give me a high-powered offense with 17 points to start. I'm going to take Colorado. Greg is taking Colorado as well. Now we get to the home team. The Memphis Tigers on the road at North Texas. Memphis -7 in the hook, -7.5 down in Denton, Texas. Homecoming for North Texas, homecoming for Tigers quarterback Seth Hennigan as he goes back to his hometown. Harold, what about your Tigers?
I think this one is going to be a wire game. That's how I anticipate it. That the hook there bothers me a lot, but I'm a homer. Readily admit it. Give me the Tigers.
All right. Now, in my preseason predictions for the Tigers, this was the third game I had them losing. I had them losing to Missouri, I had them losing to Tulane, and I had them losing this game. I think this is a tricky game. Air raid offense, it's an offense that could put up some points. Now, their defense, again, is awful. North Texas can't stop the run at all. The Tigers should be able to just run the ball down their throat. They give up 255 rushing yards per game, which is incredible to think about that. 255 rushing yards per game they give up. So the Tigers, much like last week, really shouldn't even have to ask Seth Hennigan to do a whole lot.
Blake Watson.
You hand off to Blake Watson, you let these guys do their thing. I think North Texas can score, but I don't know that they can slow down Memphis. I'm with you. The hook really bothers me. I would love for this to be 6.5, but I'm gonna go with Memphis here to get this done. Greg is going with Memphis. Edward.
North Texas.
North Texas. All right.
I'm sorry, Memphis defense. Don't trust them.
I certainly, again, I do think this is a very tricky game for it would not surprise me to see the Tigers lose this game because North Texas, again, their offense is legit. I mean, again, this is an air raid type offense with their head coach being a Mike Leach, Cliff Kingsbury disciple. All right, our last one. We go to the Big 12. Texas without Quinn Ewers hosting BYU. BYU getting 17.5 points on the road at Texas. Malik Murphy and company. Listen, I love Texas. I had them in the playoff. I still think they have a very good chance to survive without Quinn Ewers. They need him back if they get the rematch with Oklahoma in the championship game. But 17.5, that's too many for me. I got to take BYU. Greg's going BYU. Edward?
I got to go with BYU. If Kansas can score on Texas, BYU can.
Yep. 17.5 is a lot.
Those are good thoughts. And I hear all of that, and I may regret this, but I'm going to go with Texas at home.
Harold, come on.
So we do not have any clean sweeps. There's no game that everybody agreed on. All right. Now we need your best bet. Harold, which one you going with as your best bet?
The Memphis Tigers, my best bet.
I am going to go with I'm going to go with Oregon as mine. Greg is going Tennessee. Edward, who's your best bet?
North Texas.
North Texas. Going head-to-head with Harold's best bet. Edward, thank you for listening. Congratulations on getting in. Good luck to you. If I do, I hope you tie me. I look at it this way. If we tie, you still get the barbecue, and I don't have to admit that I lost.
Good morning.
Thanks, Edward. Appreciate
it. Thanks, Edward.
That's the way it worked. That everybody's happy.
There you go.
That nobody had to lose, and he gets the barbecue in the end. So there you go. That is the pick 6. Memphis. Going with Memphis as your best bet.
How about that?
You are a true homer.
I am.
When we come back, we'll get some more thoughts from Harold on the Big 12, SEC, where things are headed as far as the Autos Delivery Bowl. We're starting to get teams bowl eligible now, so the picture starts to get a little bit clearer. Also, get Harold's thoughts on the whole Michigan spy situation as we continue here. Sports 56 mornings. It is the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Go where the season takes you, and it'll take you to huge savings at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Be packed with power in 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage G4. 37 MPG combined, $18,755 or $199 a month. Ready for adventure? 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. $25,595 or $299 a month. Plus 7 seating and top safety pick 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander SUV. $32,185 or $399 a month. And every new Gossett Mitsubishi is equipped with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You want it, we Gossett. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 84 months, 500 military rebate, loyalty, conquest rebate, 500 G4, RHFO 1918, MSRP 19255, Sport, PU 015-137, MSRP 26595, Outlander RZ 006545, MSRP 33185, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit, dealer stock only.
How long has it been since you heard the term being overstocked? Well, it's happened at Family Leisure. Yep. That means you get the savings, like select patio sets that are up to 50% off. If you need a play gym, you're in luck because they're also overstocked and start at under $2,000. Pool tables and game room items up to $700 off of in-stock items. Saunas, massage chairs, arcades, even theater seating. Special financing is available with free delivery. Family Leisure is extending sale pricing on all in-stock hot tubs and swim spas. And if you need supplies to close up your pool for the winter, Family Leisure has them up to 30% off. It's been a while since you've heard of an overstock sale, but Family Leisure is right in the middle of one. Huge deals and a huge overstocked inventory. That means great savings for you. It's happening now at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Pizza lovers and sports fanatics, Ferraro's Pizzeria is your Sunday ticket headquarters. Catch every pro game on multiple big screen TVs while enjoying $2 beers, $9 beer buckets, and mouth-watering pizza. We're talking the cheesiest, most delicious New York pizzas in town with all your favorite toppings. What are you waiting for? Grab your family and friends and get to Ferraro's, corner of Jackson and Main, just east of the Pyramid. Enjoy every pro game at Ferraro's Pizzeria and Cheesy Corner, your game day destination.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Be the change you want to see. Join the Memphis Police Department. Salary starting at $54,611, increasing to $60,713 after probation. Benefits include a $15,000 sign-on bonus, up to $10,000 in relocation assistance. Other incentives include pension, health, vision, dental, and life insurance, 25-year retirement, take-home cars, over 75 specialized units. For more information or details, visit joinmpd.com.
Scott Graham here for Thursday Night Football on Westwood One. NFL Week 8 begins with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills hosting Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Both are coming off close divisional losses last week and looking to get back on the winning track. Tom McCarthy and Devin McCourty will have the call on air and on the free live stream, sponsored by AutoZone, on Thursday Night Football.
Right here on Sports 56.
After a big dinner, my nighttime heartburn would keep me up. I'd be taking antacid after antacid all night long.
But then I tried Prilosec OTC. Just one pill a day blocks my frequent heartburn for a full 24 hours, giving me one-and-done heartburn relief. Without heartburn keeping me up, I could have a restful night's sleep.
Prilosec OTC. One pill a day, 24 hours, zero heartburn. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Thursday Night Football is on, and it's only on Prime. Tonight, Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers sail into Buffalo to take on Josh Allen and the Bills. Not a Prime member? Sign up for a 30-day free trial to stream the game. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern with TNF Tonight, presented by Verizon. Live from Buffalo, it's the Buccaneers and the Bills. Tonight on Thursday Night Football, and it's on Prime. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings. This hour brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Now, more of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. Here are your hosts, Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Harold Grader.
Welcome back here. It is the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. Harold Grader here in studio from the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Mentioned, talk about what Ryan Silverfield, the Tigers get to become bowl eligible this week with a win. It's getting to that point. Teams are starting to get bowl eligible. Again, that the picture starts to sort itself out a little bit more each and every week. We talked last week about how important that game was for Arkansas.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure you can find a more dreadful way to lose the game unless you would have gotten beat like 52-0, but only scoring 3 points in the game.
Yeah.
Not good for Sam Pittman. Now they already have 6 losses, so they're certainly
they got to win out.
Big question mark. But as you're starting to look more and more now, how do you kind of see the SEC and the Big 12 sort itself out for you guys?
Well, we'll start on the Big 12 side. Looking at the picture there, obviously the two top teams are Oklahoma, Texas. They've been bowl eligible for a week or two. 4 teams can get bowl eligible this week, and when you look at it, it's more likely that only 2 of those will get bowl eligible, get the 6th win. You've got Oklahoma State. They can get bowl eligible with a win over Cincinnati. K-State can get bowl eligible with a win over Houston. Here are the 2 that are kind of toss-ups, or maybe not so much toss-up, but in question. Kansas plays Oklahoma. BYU, the aforementioned BYU, plays Texas. So all of those 4 schools are sitting there with 5 wins. With a W on Saturday, they're all bowl eligible, and as we look at that picture, to remind folks, that we have the 4th choice of teams in the Big 12. So when it comes to us, whatever that pool of eligible teams are on the table, it's our choice from that allotment of teams. So, we're starting to look at that a little bit. Will any of the new teams to the league, the 3 out of the American and BYU, get bowl eligible? Houston, Cincinnati, UCF have a little bit of work to do. Houston's 3-4, UCF's 3-4, Cincinnati 2-5. BYU, they're 5-2. As I said, if they win this week, they're bowl eligible. So, not so sure the 3 from the American can get to 6. It'll be close. BYU somewhere in there, whether it's this week or in coming weeks, should get to 6. The rest of the pool of potential teams for us are going to be teams that we've had before, and that that's just the reality. It's not a negative. Out of that bunch, the only one that would be eliminated for us for now would be Kansas, because we just had them last year.
Exactly. Yeah.
The rest of them will be in the mix, in the conversation as we move through this last weekend of October and then into November, as the phrase I like to use, the herd gets thinned out a little bit and things become more in focus. So, as we look at things, obviously, BYU's a possibility. Okie State, Kansas State, Iowa State, BYU, West Virginia sitting there at 4-3. They got to come up with a couple of wins. So, I think our Big 12 team is going to come from that group that I just named, unless maybe one of those other former American teams can get to 6. Again, that could be a little dicey, but we'll see. But we're liking where we are. It's always great to have those options, and that's one of the great things about where we are in that mix of bowl partners with the Big 12. It is our choice, and some years you're down to one team, and you really don't have a choice. But in most years, it's at least 2, and you can make your assessments and your evaluations, and then make your choice. So we're beginning to focus on that a little bit more, and we shall see. Again, especially if some of those can get to 6 this week. On the SEC side, interesting. Teams that we thought would be bowl eligible may or may not get there.
Yeah.
But, of course, I'm hinting at Arkansas, and obviously we wouldn't have the Razorbacks back for a second year in a row. Great concern there for my friend Sam Pittman. That one, went south in a hurry there. We'll see what they can do, but you got to think, unfortunately for them, they don't get bowl eligible. They got to win out.
Yeah,
they got to win out. And that is a hefty task.
When you just scored 3 points in a game, it's hard to think of winning out.
And I really do, and I hate that for them. So they're off this week at Florida, Auburn, Florida International, Mizzou.
It's not impossible.
It's not impossible,
but
not likely.
When a team just scored 3 points, it's hard to envision it.
So it'll be interesting to see what the administration does over there. It ultimately comes down to, they'll have, if Sam Pittman is there, they will have a new offensive coordinator, whether it's the guy that they've named for now or they bring another OC in. But, it comes down to, a pretty, not an easy conversation, but, when you look across the table, AD to head coach, of why should we keep you? Why should we continue to believe in you that you're the guy for this job that can win and win at a high level?
And if you're Sam Pittman, you got to say, listen, I made a mistake with my offensive coordinator. Give me another chance. And you understand it's your last chance. Like, you better get it right this time.
That's right.
You don't get to come back and that time, I screwed up again on the hire. This is it.
And you got to look at the context of where the state of that program when Sam was hired. It was bad.
Oh, yes.
It was bad. Had the big year where they go to the Outback Bowl, living good. They won all the trophy games that year, and unfortunately, the wheels have fallen off. I would think that they will give him another year.
I think so too, but it probably part of it will depend on these last 4 games. If they look horrendous still in these last 4 games offensively, and it gets. They lose like all 4. Well, they're not going to lose the Florida National, but if they lose the 3 SEC games, then I could see it being done.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Dan Enos had been at Arkansas before. He was there when Brett Bielema was there. Had some level of success there, but I thought with having KJ, and of course we all went into the season touting KJ Jefferson as one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks in the league. The offense that Dan Enos was running was not conducive to his talents. And, as you step back now, you see what's happened. It was a curious hire, was when you're having success with that type of offense, and it's a fun, entertaining offense for your fans, and then you deviate from the Kendall Briles up-tempo type offense to a pro-style offense that Dan Enos ran and runs.
Yeah, it
doesn't match what your quarterback, and he's the best player on the football team. Assessing that curious hire, bad hire, they recognized it. Maybe should have done it a week ago, but certainly after the performance against Mississippi State, something had to happen, they did that.
There's no doubt about that.
So as we look at our situation in the SEC. Auburn is a team we're keeping an eye on. Of course, they've got some work to do. They're only at 3 wins. Obviously, State is a team we had 2 years ago. They're at 4-3. Can they figure out 2? But I wouldn't anticipate us having them back.
Kentucky
is a team that is certainly on our radar. You don't think South Carolina. You don't think Vanderbilt. So the field becomes narrowed pretty quickly. And when you look at what the national media guys are projecting, this week it's on the SEC side. It's Auburn, Kentucky, A&M, Mizzou. Really, those are the 3 or 4 schools the national guys are looking at, and looks like I'm probably headed to the Plains this weekend to check out Auburn and have some early conversations about what are they thinking. But obviously, Auburn has got to figure out a way to win 3. And looking at their schedule, Eli, they have State this week at home, then they're at Vandy, at Arkansas, New Mexico State at home, and then the Iron Bowl. And that's 5 games, you got to think, looking at that schedule, you got to think that Hugh Freeze and that staff and that team figures out a way to win 3 and get bowl eligible.
All right,
so they could very well be in our mix, and that's why it looks like I'm probably headed down there and let them know they're on our radar.
In a minute, what do you got with the Memphis Touchdown Club?
Memphis Touchdown Club, last meeting of the year, will be coming up on November 13th, so we got a couple of weeks off. Clark Lee, the head coach at Vanderbilt, will be the guest speaker that night, so all you Vandy folks, come support your coach. We'll have our offensive and defensive high school players of the year awarded that night, and a bit kind of a celebration of the year as we wrap up the year with the Memphis Touchdown Club. We've changed some things, and we've had great success, and we appreciate folks supporting the Memphis Touchdown Club. So mark that on your calendar for the last tour of the year, and we look forward to that. This past Monday night with Charlie Strong, our player of the week was Tadarius Canada, an athlete, literally plays just about every position on the field for Mitchell. They're having a great year. Kudos to their head coach, Larry Fitzgerald. They're 9-0, playing for the district championship tomorrow night against Fairleigh. This week's TVA lineman of the week for us at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, Irvin Jackson, senior offensive lineman from Melrose High School. So we're headed down the stretch, and as it always is interesting, it's always fun. We encourage you to get your tickets to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. This is the 65th edition, coming up on Friday, December 29th, 2:30 kickoff. Join us, be a part of it all, and for our gala and halftime show, the legendary Memphis group, Stax Group, is the Barquet, so hope you will be a part of all of that.
Thank you very much, Harold.
Yes, sir.
We'll see you again next week. Thank you to Kerry Miller, of course, Ryan Silverfield as well for joining us on the program. Of course, tomorrow, John Varlas, Brandon Lang, and more coming up on the Friday edition of Sports 56 Morning. Stay tuned as Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 comes your way next. Don't forget, tonight we got Bucks and Bills, NFL football right here on Sports 56 as well. For Zach Boyd, I'm Eli Savoy. So long, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday.